everyone, and welcome to a very, very, very special edition of Hive Live. It's Barnet against Aldershot Town in a game where the Bees can and most likely will lift the National League title. Now, before we launch into the usual spiel, I just want to play you something for the occasion. Have a look at this. Taken by Togwell. Equaliser for Barnet. More than an equaliser when you think about the overall title race. It equalises the Bristol Rovers goal. And now, in terms of the as it stands table, Barnet are back on top. Here comes the corner, Cash with the header, and driven in at the second time of asking. It's another one. Villete, the man of the moment. Sheer joy at the Hive. The Bees are champions of the Vanarama Conference, and now it's the invasion of the Swarm. Scenes of utter jubilation at the Hive. Barnet have deserved this. Worthy champions, and they will return to the Football League after a 2-year absence. Tears of joy there. It's Martin Allen's moment. It's the players' moment. Well, isn't that just a sight to behold? The National League title being lifted under Martin Allen almost 10 years ago to the exact day. My name's Rory Edwards. I'm going to be your commentator today, and alongside me today, sadly, I'm afraid Brian, our usual co-commentator, couldn't make it, but thankfully I've managed to draft in a man who knows a thing or two about the lower leagues. It's Joe Pope from the Off The Line blog. How are you, Joe?
Yeah, cheers for having me. It's a pleasure to be here to hopefully watch Barnet lift the title. As you say, Dean Brennan got a chance to join the likes of Martin Allen and Paul Fairclough in being a promotion winner with Barnet, and yeah, a real honour to be here today to potentially see that.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, what a time, what a game to be your first one for the Bees.
Yeah, it's I didn't pick a better game, did I? Really? Yeah, it's going to be a really good game. Big crowd in, looks like it, and yeah, I mean that's what you want, isn't it? Nice game at home to potentially win it.
Well, fingers crossed, we are going to see scenes like the video we just showed you there under Martin Allen. The Bees won the National League for their third time. Can they make it a fourth title? Now, of course, almost every Barnet fan should now know that when the year ends in 5, Barnet win the league. 2005, 2015, 2025, question mark?
Yeah, well, it's certainly a good omen, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure Dean Brennan will be reminding them of that before the game. Yeah, it's funny how things work out like that in football, isn't it?
Certainly is, certainly is. So, last time out then, Sutton United played Barnet, and they really did take the game to the Bees, but the Bees came out on top with a 3-1 victory, and I'm just thinking, is it a season? It was, I said on comms actually at the time, it was a season-defining result really in a way, really, because if it had gone badly, we wouldn't be in this position, but they showed the grit and determination that has been the hallmark of their season.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they've shown that little bit of quality, that character, as Dean Brennan calls it, and yeah, there was one or two questions asked of them. You know, they've had a little bit of a dip in form, but they showed their quality and why they're top of the league and got this chance this afternoon.
Absolutely. Just seeing some of your comments. Joining Hive Live early doors. Mark Winter, of course. Come on, you Bees. Chris R. Come on, you Bees. Tuning in from Gibraltar. Shout out to Paul and Jim at the game. Paul Newman, come on, Barnet. Just one more point. Andy Wood can't be there in person, but willing them on from home. And see a Scottish flag in there from Albie Ginn, I think. Is that Gin Ginn? And Marcel from Belfast. Come on, you Bees. So, yeah, wherever you are in the world, we're delighted to have you here for Hive Live's coverage of a momentous occasion here at the Hive. 10 years in the making, or maybe arguably 7 years in the making since the Bees' relegation to League Two, where they just didn't manage to kick on until now. Dean Brennan took over this club club, and he's transformed it really.
Yeah, ever since Dean Brennan's come in, the club's been on an upward trajectory. When we got into the playoffs last year, fell away in that, the game against Solihull Moors, but this is what Dean Brennan would have been wishing for, the chance at home to finally put that promotion next to all of the brilliant work that he's done as Barnet boss.
100%. And just going back to the Sutton game then, just how important do you think that win was in terms of going being pegged back to 1-1 and then just getting that all-important second goal through a penalty and a red card, and suddenly the game is turned on its head?
Yeah, a turning point, and it gave them the momentum in a really key game, as you said, season defining. And then the way that they saw out the game fairly comfortably from there is what they've done most times this season when they've taken the lead. So yeah, big game, and it's given them this opportunity this afternoon to win it at home with at least a point.
100%. Well, Adi Aluwo got the all-important third goal for the Bees that day, a powerful bullet of a header into the corner, and if you listen back to my commentary, I certainly wasn't too composed on the mic and got a few dirty looks from the Sutton United fans that were sitting around us in the press box, but doesn't matter about that. All that matters was, of course, the 3 points. Now, Aldershot Town are Barnet's opponents today. They're not in the best form. Just thinking back to the reverse fixture, actually, Barnet got the win there thanks to a Nicky Kabamba goal. Of course, Kabamba's gone and Leon Love has come in. And that was a game that was a bit frustrating for Barnet. They did get the decisive goal. But when Aaron Jones got sent off for a disgusting challenge, as Steve Brennan said at the time, on Idris Kanu, the shots actually rallied and it didn't look like they had 10 men. So just what kind of a challenge are Tommy Woodrington's side going to pose the Bees today?
Yeah, well, I think even though Aldershot have been down near the bottom of the table, I've actually maintained all season that they're a good side. They could play like Barnet, play some really nice football, got some really good players, and even though they are, I wouldn't say on the beach, but they've got nothing really to play for in the league, I think it will be a tough game. I think they've got a couple of players in their side, the likes of Josh Barrett, who on their day are easily probably in the top 5 players in the division. So it's going to be a good game, a tough game, but the sort of challenge that I've come to expect Barnet to pass with flying colours. Yeah,
well, let's see if they take the game to the Bees. Of course, they did lose 3-0 last time out at arch rivals Woking, but they did rotate the squad, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I think they had one eye on Wembley, and also given the little bit of needle that took place in the semi-final in the FA Trophy against Woking, they perhaps wanted to keep 1 or 2 players injury-free for that one, and it looks like they've got their full-strength team back, bar 1 or 2 today.
Yeah, well, of course, we will take you through the full lineups when the players come out, but one notable face that is back in the squad for Aldershot is Jack Barham, an ex-Barnet player who had a bit of an axe to grind with the Bees. He cupped his ears when he scored against them, and do you think he'll maybe have a point to prove today, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, he'd certainly like to score in front of this Barnet crowd, obviously a former Bees player. So, yeah, I mean, there's Aldershot, a team that I think like to play that little, role of party pooper. They like that little bit of needle, a bit of axe in their play. So, yeah, I expect he'll be eager to get on the score sheet.
Well, Tommy Woodrington in his pre-match interview was asked, do you want to be party poopers? Will you be up for this game? And he just had that sort of slight smug look about him, did Tommy Woodrington. He was sort of like, on our day we could beat anyone, and he was asked as well, is he going to be put off by a big crowd? Obviously, massive crowd packed into the Hive today. Aldershot were actually complaining that their allocation wasn't quite big enough for them, but they're set to be at least 4,800 maybe Barnet fans here today at least, and Tommy Woodrington said they don't get cowed by big home followings. They managed to beat Oldham 3-1 in their away game there. Could they spring a similar shock today?
Yeah, they could, and I think actually Tommy Woodrington loves that. He likes playing the big crowds. He likes the tough games where they can go away from home and show what they're about. But they are a good side, and I think he'll relish us today to be potentially the team to stop Barnet winning it today.
Well, the Bees are obviously heavy favourites, and I'd just like to take a moment to welcome those who have joined us on DAZN. Thank you very much for joining us today for a momentous day here at the Hive, a historic occasion. Well, certainly has potential to be. Nothing's in the bag officially, but they do just need a single point. And of course, Joe, Barnet have not lost a single game at home so far. Yeah,
I mean, obviously they will want to just make sure they get the job done first and foremost. But yeah, if they can keep that unbeaten run going. That's another feather in their cap in what's been a wonderful season.
Just how difficult is it to maintain an unbeaten run an entire season?
Yeah, tough, but it's certainly something when you look at the teams that have gone and won the National League before. That's something that's been a hallmark. You know, they had a really strong home record. I think of like the Chesterfield team that won the league under Paul Cook. I don't think they lost at home during the season. So yeah, it's certainly a trait that you would expect from a team that goes to win the title.
Of course, just looking at some more of your comments, Chris Linnell, come on you V's, you can do it, listening in from Toronto. My dad's at the match. DJ MDA, come on boys, get an early goal. Chloe says, come on you V's, shout out to Jack at the game. David, we're going up from Melbourne, Australia. Steph, come on you B's. Joseph Malatesta, come on up the B's. Coconut Explorers, sounds like an interesting job. Listening in from Sydney, Australia. We get a lot of Australians on Hive Live. Come on you B's, let's get this done. Daniel, Zach Littlechild, come on you B's. And Piano Discordian, a Hive Live regular, nearly midnight in Sydney. I've got the Barnet shirt on, watching on DAZN but listening to the only commentary that counts. I can tell you, Piano Discordian, that we are on DAZN as well. So don't worry about syncing up on YouTube or anything like that. Just tune into the DAZN commentary because we'll be there as well. We're sending 2 feeds, so no need for any of that. But of course, do keep the chat open. We will be reading as many of your comments as possible on a really, really exciting day as the tension and atmosphere builds in this stadium. Barnet against Aldershot. Just a single point guarantees the title. But not just that, York City have to win against Solihull Moors, because if they don't, it doesn't matter what happens here. Barnet could lose 7-0. Not that that would happen, of course, but they could, and they would still be crowned champions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll be worrying too much about what goes on at York. I think Dean Brennan will be saying to them, just make sure we do our job here and take care of our own hands.
Well, you can just hear the atmosphere building now in front of us from the faithful B Army. We're top of the league is the song that they're singing because, well, it is objectively true. They are 6 points clear of York City, and out come the players. You can just hear the roar there of sheer excitement. There's still plenty of empty seats in the away end of people trying to get in. I'm sure they'll take their seats shortly. And there is a party atmosphere already as the balloons are flying, the flags are waving. And it's as if they've won the title already.
Yeah, I hate to think what they'll be like when they score a goal.
Well, I don't hate it. I'd love to think about it. So, on the 9th of April 2005, Paul Fairclough's Barnet beat Halifax by 3-1 to win the league at Underhill. On the 25th of April 2015, Martin Allen's Barnet beat Gateshead by 2-0 to win the league at the Hive. Now, almost exactly 10 years to the day, Dean Brennan's Barnet have the chance to win the National League again. Providing the Minstermen fulfil their end of the bargain by beating Solihull, all Barnet must do, and it sounds so easy, is avoid defeat against an Aldershot side in rotten form, and who will almost certainly have one eye on the FA Trophy final in that other stadium just a few stops away on the Jubilee line. But regardless of form, they mustn't be underestimated, and Tommy Woodrington's side will be keen to spoil the party. The Hive is packed to the rafters and the sense of excitement is palpable. For those of you watching and listening, wherever you are in the world, we'll do our very best to immerse you in a potentially very special day for this football club. Can the Bees guarantee their place in the EFL next season after a 7-year absence and become 4-time winners of the 5th tier? Dean Brennan has gone with the exact same starting 11 that beat Sutton 3-1 on Easter Monday, a result which has done much to assuage the nerves of many Bees fans. Harry Chapman makes the bench, in for Jermaine Francis, who misses out. As for Aldershot, Tommy Woodrington makes 4 changes. Josh Barrett, who has bagged 16 goals this season, comes back into the fray, as does veteran midfielder James Henry, who has 13 goals to his name. And ex-B Jack Barham completes that forward line. Theo Woodrington also comes into his dad's starting 11 after missing the Woking game completely, as Ryan Jones also sadly fractured his tibia against Woking. He'll be missing out as well. So, are you brave enough to make a prediction today, Joe?
I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a close game, but I do back Barnet to get the job done.
It is absolutely bouncing here at the Hive. So just to go through the full lineup for you: Owen Evans in goal, Ben Coker, Danny Collins, Ryan Glover, Nick Tavares and Aluo in defence, Mark Shelton and Anthony Hardigan in that double pivot role. Callum Stead and Reece Brown making up those 10s, and up front leading the line is Liam Love as we're about to get underway here for Barnet against Aldershot. Remember, just a point needed. Off we go here. And here we go straight away with Danny Collins on the right-hand side. How are they going to respond to this challenge? Leon Love loses out here, and Aldershot come away with the ball in midfield. It's played forward quickly towards Jack Barham, and here come Aldershot in midfield. Has there been a foul committed there? There has. And referee Zach Kennard Kettle has awarded Aldershot a free kick on the centre circle. Some atmosphere here, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, there's people still piling into the stadium as we speak, still not in their seats yet. So, looking for a bumper crowd, hopefully for something to cheer about at 5 o'clock.
Of course, there will be a title presentation should the Bees do the business here. What an opportunity they have to create a very special memory for those who have made the trip today. Just a minute or so gone. Barnet 0, Aldershot Town 0. And I think given that they need just 1 point, do you think that will make the occasion a little bit less nervous than if they needed 3 points, if they had a slightly more dodgy result against Sutton?
Yeah, potentially, but they don't have to push forward as much to try and get that win. But it's a Dean Brennan side, they're always going to push forward and try and score, and I don't think there'll be any change in their approach.
Marcus Dewhurst goes along towards Jack Barham, ex-Barnet, down the right-hand side. He's chasing it against Owen Evans, and he's given Owen Evans a bit of a shove in the back as Evans shielded the ball out of play for a goal kick to the Bees. He goes along towards Leon Love, who tries to come forward to collect the ball, loses out though to Dan Ellison. Ball high up into the air. Ball is able to bounce, hooked forward for Aldershot, and Aluo collects the loose ball and plays it safely with his left back to goalkeeper Owen Evans. Evans has been a class act since coming in on loan from Cheltenham Town, and I think he'll be one definitely that the Bees will be looking to secure on a full-time basis next season. So calm with his feet at the back, and his distribution is next level.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that I know Barnet fans have been really impressed by, his distribution, given that they brought in Nick Hayes in the summer to try and do that, but perhaps hasn't quite hit the heights that they expected him to. But since Owen Evans has come in, he's been fantastic, and as you say, given that Cheltenham probably will look to move him on in the summer, I'd imagine he'll sign here, and that'll be a good signing, wouldn't it?
Certainly would, but we're all living in the present here. Nothing confirmed yet. With 3 minutes gone, still Barnet 0, Aldershot 0, but as I'm at pains to say, if it stayed like this, Barnet would lift the trophy. Ball played down the right flank towards Jack Barham, and Olays from the Bees crowd as the linesman flags him for offside. And he's a sprightly young player, isn't he? Well, not so young anymore actually, Jack Barham. He was 22 when he signed for John Still's Barnet at the time, but he sort of fell out of favour really under Darren Curry. But he's a decent forward at this level, isn't he?
Yeah, still a good forward. Obviously, former England C player as well. And he might not be so young now, but still young in the mind.
Aren't we all? Reece Brown with some tricky footwork, and he's won himself a free kick here, well inside the Aldershot half, and a great opportunity to whip one into the box. It'll be either Ben Coker's wand of a left foot or Anthony Hardigan's in-swinging right. Both are extremely dangerous.
Yeah, see if they can aim for a Luwu again, as they did at Sutton.
Yeah, Luwu certainly extremely dangerous, as he's proven. 5 goals for him this season. It's a great record for a centre-back. And could the Bees notch an early goal here to get the party started? Hartigan into the middle, the header is on and it's flicked wide, and it actually came off an Aldershot defender and it's out for a Barnet corner.
Yeah, really good defensive header for, I believe it was Luca Woodhouse at the back there, and it put it past his own posts and out for a Barnet corner. It looks like Ben Coker going to whip this in now.
That's right, on the far side. It was a wicked delivery, wasn't it? Now can Ben Coker, who of course set up the third goal at Sutton, get one right? In it comes towards the middle. Collins rises for it. It's come out to Aluwo. Aluwo, has he been brought down? Penalty! Just 5 minutes gone, and Adi Aluwo has won a penalty for the Bees. What was the Aldershot defender doing there?
Yeah, well, he was going away from the goal, so he should have just stood him up. But I think it was actually Woodhouse that put the ball behind for the corner, has brought Aluwo down, and it looks like Mark Shelton's going to have the chance to put Barnet ahead. Early goal.
Well, he scored one on Easter Monday. He rolled it into the bottom corner, just waited for the keeper to dive the wrong way. And what a chance after 5.5 minutes to get the party started here. In front of an absolutely packed out crowd, and there's a huge amount of Barnet fans packed in what's usually the away end, who will get a fantastic view here if Mark Shelton can get this past Marcus Dewhurst for his, and this is an opportunity to get his 10th goal of the season.
Yeah.
Shelton against Dewhurst. It's in! Right into the corner! It's a perfect start for Barnet! Dewhurst was nowhere near it. He did dive the right direction, but he was never stopping that. And Mark Shelton scores for the Bees.
Yeah, brilliant penalty. Cool, calm and collected into the bottom corner. One of the people that commentated said we wanted an early goal to settle the nerves, and it's only taken 5 minutes. Obviously, I see a flare on the pitch. Be a little bit of a delay here.
There is indeed a flare on the pitch, and he's going to have to come and collect this. He's got a special bucket to do that as the steward, and it's the ideal start for the Bees here on a very special day. And it has the potential to be another miserable afternoon for Aldershot Town.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see their response now, because they conceded really early on against Woking and against York, and then they conceded really quickly after that. I think they were 3-0 down inside quarter of an hour against Woking, so they need a better response here this afternoon.
They were indeed. 18 minutes it took for them to go 3-0 down, but here's a chance for them to get one into the box, goes towards the back post, it's across the face of goal, and Glover deals with the threat and puts it out for a throw into Aldershot on the far side. What a start for the Bees. Mark Shelton with his 10th goal of the season, and it's another penalty from him as well. Such an expert in those situations. Coolest man in the building, as we like to say. Coker takes the throw in, he didn't get quite enough on it. But it's hooked away for a Barnet goal kick, and you can just smell the flare, can't you? The smoky stench has made its way up into the gantry.
Yeah, I was going to say the smell of promotion, Rory.
It certainly does smell like promotion at the moment. And remember, the Bees are now on target for their 100-point target. Dean Brennan doesn't just want promotion, he wants to make history at this football club. Here's Callum Stead over on that right-hand side. Now Glover almost finds Dally Collins in field, but the Bees look really up for this, as you'd expect them to. Absolutely no apprehension about their play. They are stamping their authority. Played up towards Jack Borum for Aldershot. And that's a poor ball in the end from James Henry as he tried to find Josh Barrett, and it goes all the way to Evans. Hartigan restarts. Here's Reece Brown on the halfway line. I was saying to Brian actually last week on comms, saying it would be nice if Barnet could do a Chelsea, you know, when they used to win the league by winning about 8-0 every time. And Shelton's in loads of space again in the penalty area, just on this left-hand side, gets one into the middle, and it's deflected out. He was in a huge amount of space there, Shelton.
Yeah, he seemed to sort of stop. Would have got an early cross in to put shots on the back foot, but I mean, Dean Brennan would be delighted. He would have wanted them to come out, fast start. They've got that goal, nearly double their lead as well. So really good start from Barnet.
Defensively poor then from shots. Piano just scored it. Rory, you're going to have no voice by half time if you're not careful. Well, sadly, I have got a bit of a sore throat anyway, so I'm going to have to take it easy. 100%. I've got my water here. But Anthony Hartigan is going to take this corner on the near side. In it goes. Aluwe was rising for it again. He fancies it. Reece Brown, as he managed to control it, he's unfortunately controlled it with his hand in the penalty area. And it's an Aldershot Town free kick. Danger averted on 10 minutes. But it is Barnet 1. Aldershot Town 0 thanks to a Mark Shelton penalty on 6 minutes.
He'd love a goal today, wouldn't he, Reece Brown, ex-Woking player against Aldershot.
I'm sure Ryan Glover wouldn't mind one either.
Yeah.
Left the shots last season to join a probable promotion winning side.
Yeah, player of the season I see as well in the week for Ryan Glover.
Absolutely, and a much deserved award. Long ball played up towards Boren, but he's out muscled by Tavares, and it falls easily for Owen Evans. Here's Shelton, who looks in the mood today. Driving forward, gets it towards Stead, who's in loads of space as he comes forward. And I'm not sure what Aldershot's defensive plan is here. They're allowing the Bees a lot of space. Of course, the shots can guarantee their safety in this league with just a point, but even then it would be extremely unlikely for them to go down at this stage. And you just wonder as well, I know we have touched on it, whether they do have one eye on Wembley and they just don't want to risk anything. They'll be pulling out of challenges and not taking too many risks.
Yeah, potentially, there'll be one or two thoughts in the back of players' minds. They want to keep themselves fit for that game at Wembley. Obviously, Ryan Jones got picked up that injury last game and he'll rule himself out for that final. So, yeah, there may be a little bit of that, wanting to make sure that they get the chance to play at Wembley.
Yeah, it's fair to say Ryan Jones is one of Aldershot's key players, and so unfortunate for him to fracture his tibia. Yeah,
real shame. He's been brilliant this season. He's got better as the season's gone on. A player that I picked out at the start of the season, thought he'd be one of the key players for Aldershot, and he has done that. And yeah, a real shame for him. We give him our best wishes, no doubt, for a speedy recovery. It was a bit of a nasty one to pick up that.
100%, and he joins a long list of injuries for Aldershot Town, and it's the Barnet fans in front of us who are standing off their chairs. If you love Barnet, stand up. What an absolutely brilliant day it can be. And it started perfectly, really. Aldershot lose it with Theo Witherington, and Glover plays instead on the right-hand side. Bit short, but he manages to pick it up anyway. Up against Tyler Frost, plays it back to Collinge, just on the far side. Hartigan gets one forward first time towards Brown, but there's a bit too much on it, and it goes out harmlessly for a goal kick to the shots. Yeah, I'm reliably informed by Steph that York are winning, but I get the feeling we won't have to worry about that, says Steph. So
I hope she's right come the end.
It would take some remarkable turn of events, that's for sure. Bees win possession in the middle of the park, and I think the last touch has come off Reece Brown. It's an Aldershot Town throw-in on this halfway line on the near side. Here's Barrett in to Tetek. Plays it across to Tyler Frost, gets it forward towards Barham, but Collinge intercepts and gets it forward, although Stead went in for the sliding challenge, but somehow wins a throw-in there on the far side. Still Stead. And this pitch, I have to say, is looking glorious. As per usual, the ground staff have done an incredible job this season, and it's really enabled Barnet to play the way they want to play, and has probably had an absolutely integral factor to Barnet's success this season.
Yeah, funny enough, I was having a discussion with somebody before the game, and that's actually one of the things that Aldershot want to improve on next season. Their pitch has had some issues, perhaps can't play the free-flowing football that they would like to under Tommy Widrington. And yeah, it certainly played a part, hasn't it, in Dean Brennan's football?
Yeah, and as we said that, Josh Barrett used the lovely surface here to test Owen Evans with a kind of volleyed effort, and it bounced just in front of Evans and he's pushed it away for a corner. I think a Dean Brennan lookalike has just made his way into the fans here, hence the chant Dino. It'd be quite something if Dean Brennan came to join the fans at this stage. But anyway, it is a corner to Aldershot on the far side, and it's drilled in. Not a bad delivery, and it was Widrington who got something on it, and he's got his hands on his head because it was a half-decent opportunity.
Yeah, good opportunity. Lovely ball in from Josh Barrett. That won't be the last time we say that this afternoon, but yeah, he just didn't quite get a good enough contact on it at the back post.
Well, Evans, quick thinking to find Liam Love when you can't be offside from a goal kick, cuts inside, but it's a heavy touch and Aldershot recover defensively, but great quick thinking there for Evans.
Yeah, it's that distribution. We talked about it earlier, didn't we? That he's been brought in to give this Barnet team, and a real good example of that there. Very Edison-esque.
Yeah, the non-league Edison for sure. And here is the non-league Edison on the ball. Drills one over to the left towards Ben Coker, but he does get that one wrong on that occasion. Commentators curse as per usual, and it's an Aldershot Town throw in on the near side. Back to Dewhurst, bit of a heavy touch from him, and he's forced to clear it out, only for a Barnet throw, but as it stayed in actually, it's just about spun in. Interesting physics there, and it's remained on the pitch, and it's back with Owen Evans now for the Bees. You can see that front three, Borum on the right, James Henry in the middle there, Barrett on the left. Surely a handball there by Tesek in the middle of the park, and the referee agrees, and it's a free kick to the Bees inside the Aldershot Town half. 16 and a half minutes gone, Barnet 1, Aldershot Town 0. Here's Tavares for the Bees inside his own half, gets it over to Aluwo, who scored the decisive goal at Sutton last week. It was a fantastic header from a Ben Coker delivery. Can he maybe get another one today? He won the penalty with some tricky feet. Don't usually see that from Adi Aluwo. Here's Evans. Bees playing it around at the back. A bit loose from him, and he's gone back to Tavares, being chased down by Borum, but the Bees play their way out of trouble, and that's a great ball. Good touch from Danny Collins as well. Forward towards Stead. Can the Bees launch an attack here? Stead into the middle of the park. Lays it off to Ben Coker. Coker over to Brown. Infield to Hartigan. Stead, he's in loads of space. Callum Stead! It's saved by Dewhurst. Just tried to slot it underneath him. He had so much time and space there, did Stead in the penalty area. But here's Brown, chance not over. Still Brown. Can he get one in with his left? Dinks one into the middle. Is headed away only as far as Coker. Coker lays it off to Hartigan, urged to shoot, but he didn't really have the angle. Brown gets one in towards the back post, and Love almost got there, but it's a really important touch from Woodhouse.
Yeah, another really good defensive header from Woodhouse. He put that cross behind his own goal, but yeah, Barnet, they'll be disappointed there, wouldn't they? Callum Stead, he had that glorious chance after a great pass from Hartigan in behind, but just couldn't get it past Dewhurst.
Well, by this time last game, Aldershot were 3-0 down, and they could easily be 3-0 down at this stage. Not sure quite what they're doing. They were caught completely napping there defensively. Stead was not marked, and it's a corner kick to the Bees now. Ben Coker on this far side. Bees have looked dangerous from these corners. In it comes from Coker. Collins has been pulled back. It's another penalty. It's raining penalties here at the Hive, and it's a yellow card as well. Danny Collins, it was the most blatant penalty you've ever seen as he was held back in the 6-yard box, and what a chance here for the Bees to double their lead on 20 minutes.
Yeah, potentially dreamland for Barnet. I think Tommy Widrington will be really disappointed. You know, they gave away the first penalty, which was really sloppy to give away, and then that one, the ball was going out of play, and they pull the player down. Another really sloppy penalty. And another chance for Mark Shelton to make it 11.
Shelton can get his 11th goal of the season. And his third penalty in 2 games. If he can find a way past Marcus Dewhurst for the second time in about 15 minutes. As we tick over to the 20th, it could end up being a very, very good day for the Bees if this goes in. But regardless, what a performance it's been so far. Referee just giving Leon Love a talking to there as he tries to keep him outside the area.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dean Brennan would be delighted. The fact that they got that first goal, you could easily sit back when you've not got to win the game, as Barnet do, but they've got right on the front foot after that. They've been probing, and as you say, they should be 2 or 3 goals up, and now's a chance for them to be 2-0 up.
Shelton v Dewhurst, part 2. He scored again! He's right over to this bumper crowd, pumping his fists, and why wouldn't he? He's got his 3rd goal in 2 games, his 2nd penalty of the afternoon, his 3rd penalty in 2 games, and his 11th of the season. And Barnet are well on their way here to getting back into the EFL.
Yeah, 2 goals and potentially 2 hands on the title. Brilliant penalty, cool, calm and collected like the first one. Went the other way this time. And yeah, I don't think you could have asked for a better opening 20 minutes, could you? If you're a Barnet fan coming here today, potentially a little bit of nerves, and 2-0 up within 20 minutes.
Mark Shelton, coolness personified. Once again, 3 out of 3 penalties. You can't quite underestimate how much composure that takes. And the party is in full swing here. Barnet 2, Aldershot Town 0 after just 20 minutes.
I mean, I think it would be quite ironic and poignant if Mark Shelton's the one to potentially send them up as an epitome of what Dean Brennan's done here at Barnet. He's taken a player who perhaps underperformed or didn't hit the heights at Oldham. He's come in, he's refound his love of football, and he's had a fantastic season this year. And that just sums up what Dean Brennan's about since he's come into Barnet, how he's elevated so many players to what we're seeing now.
Exactly right. Artigan tries one over to the right-hand side with Glover, and it will be interesting to see if the Bees can get a goal in open play. Wonder if they can get a hat-trick at penalties at this point. Here come Aldershot on the left-hand side. Here's Barham. That's loose from the XB, who's not having the best of returns back to the Hive. Here's Hartigan. Has he got the better of his man? He's won a free kick, but the referee plays advantage anyway, and the Bees have it at the back with Adi Aluwo.
Just relentless, isn't it, Rory? You know, they're 2-0 up, they could sit back on that lead, but no, they got the ball and still passing it around looking for that 3rd goal. They want more.
And why wouldn't they? They don't just want to win the league, they want to win it in style. And they want that 100 points, which they can get with a win today that looks, increasingly likely. Is a bit of an understatement. And they do face an already relegated Fylde side who are in absolutely pitiful form next week. And that looks like it's going to be one hell of a party in Blackpool. Header in towards the penalty area for the Bees was a bit too strong for Stead. And it's into the hands or the gloves of Marcus Dewhurst. Andy Wood says, crazy scenes in the house in Swindon. Great to hear, Andy. Dib Chapman, well done, Bees. Come on, another 3 goals. Be so good. Proud of you. Go on, come on, you Bees. Come on, Glover. Keith Gaylor, come on, you Bees. Can't be there today, but listening in from sunny Bournemouth. And Jim Stanley simply says, we want more. Well, let's see if the Bees can do exactly that. Here's Tavares forward to Shelton. So many gaps, and that's a loose touch from Shelton, and the shots win it back on the halfway line. Here's Witherington, plays it forward to Barrett, who's not been fouled, and Hartigan is allowed to drive forward here. It's such an open game here. Aldershot just letting the Bees come onto them rather than sitting back. Eastleigh, it's the total opposite of the Eastleigh game, really, when they just sat in a low block. Aldershot all over the shop. Here's Reece Brown. Tries to get one into the far corner and is beaten away by Dewhurst. They're really putting on a show for these 5,000 odd fans.
Yeah, I mean, Dean Brennan would have said to them before, go and show why you're the champions in waiting, and they're certainly doing that, aren't they? He's been brilliant so far. Should have had potentially a couple more goals as well.
Well, Ryan Glover is going to line up a long throw here. The former Aldershot man, can he set up another goal on 25 minutes? It's already 2-0 thanks to 2 Mark Shelton penalties. What were Aldershot doing for both of those? Absolutely ludicrous defending, really. And it's Glover who actually, bounces one towards Brown. Bit of a dodgy one that, but he gets away with it. And here's Glover, can he get one in? It actually ricochets off Glover and it's out for a Aldershot throw. Bit of a waste in the end. But you can't be too critical, given that they have raced into a 2-goal lead with just a quarter of the game gone.
Yeah, can't argue 2-0 up after 25 minutes, can you, when you only need a point to win the league?
Not the way this season's gone, for sure. Aldershot throw it down the line. Glover wins the header and gets it infield to Shelton, who's had a massive impact on proceedings so far. But Aldershot win it back, and here's Barrett. Just stood on the ball and he's gone down with an injury there. Just seemed like he trod on the ball and got his feet in a tangle, but he's still on the floor, and hopefully he's all right, because the last thing Tommy Witherington needs is another injury.
Yeah, certainly doesn't want to lose him before Wembley.
Getting back up to his feet, and here come the Bees with Aluwo just past the halfway line. Rolls it to Coker. Coker back to Tavares, and the Bees can just strut their stuff now, which is exactly what they're doing. Now Shelton, who's already on for a hat-trick. Now Tavares. Here's Aluwo just on this near side. Tackled well by Barrett, but he keeps it in only for the benefit of Aluwo, and the Bees can come again with Shelton. Hartigan into the gap with Reece Brown now inside the Aldershot town half. Short to Coker. Now Stead coming forward, lays it off to Brown on this near side. He's been really lively as well. Infield to Shelton. Shelton comes forward. He's been well tackled in the end there by, I think, Luca Woodhouse. And here's Barrett for the shots. Gets one over to the left-hand side with Woodhouse. Woodhouse, it's a decent idea as he tried to play the ball down the left-hand side, but Owen Evans was quick off his feet. And here is Evans now.
Been impressed by Tavares, Rory. Obviously seen when I watched the first game this season, Aldershot Barnet, he was playing in midfield, Nick Tavares, but playing in that more central defensive role today.
Yeah, he's hasn't Love been fouled then? No, he hasn't. Nick Tavares. Dean Brennan did put him in midfield once or twice, but his best position clearly is in the back three, and since he became a mainstay in that back three, the Bees have been so solid at the back. Ball played long into the Barnet half. Aluwo heads it forward. Bit of head tennis as it's headed back into the Barnet half. Aluwo wins that one. Witherington down to Barrett. Barrett drills one over to the right hand side with Jones now, all inside the Barnet half. Back to Jones it comes from Henry. Here's Tetek, allowed to come forward, gets one over to the right hand side with Henry. Into the middle it comes. Collins gets just about enough on it to clear it. Can Stead pick up the second ball? Great work from him. And can he lead the Bees forward? Great work from Callum Stead, driving forward. But he's overrun the ball, Callum Stead. But good work initially. Oh, ball back. And Love was chasing that down. And Dewhurst just lumped it forward. And it's gone all the way out for a Barnet goal kick. And Josh Barrett is down on the floor now, and this is a bit of a worrying sign for Shots fans.
Yeah, Shots fans will be a little bit nervous, the fact that Josh Barrett's on the floor. Obviously, he tried to run it off, but was hobbling and gone down, and now, as I say, you don't want to be losing him before a big game at Wembley. Been absolutely fantastic this season. One of the players of the season for Aldershot, in double figures for goals and assists. Yeah, they'll be hoping he's okay to continue.
They certainly will. It's been a disappointing season for Aldershot, but they still have the chance to win silverware against Spennymoor Town. But on 30 minutes in this game, it's Barnet who have absolutely stamped their authority thanks to 2 penalties converted by Mark Shelton, who got his 10th and 11th goal respectively from the penalty spot. Went to the right hand side on the first time, to the left hand side on the second, and dispatched both with absolute aplomb. And it means that Barnet are in absolutely pole position. They only needed a point today, but they don't want that. They want to treat these fans to something special, and everyone's packed in here, and they're seeing exactly that so far.
Yeah, I mean, Dean Brennan's the sort of person that he'll want as many points as he can and try and go down as the best team, the best Barnet team to have got promoted from this league. That's just the sort of man he is, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, they've already eclipsed Martin Allen's side in terms of numbers of wins in the season. Martin Allen's side only actually got 92 points in the end. Seems like a tiny amount, really. Here's Ryan Glover for the Bees. How he'd love a goal himself. He's bagged quite a few this season himself. Now Stead, Hartigan over to the far side with Glover. Now Stead, got a bit of space if he can get one into the middle, and it comes, but it's far too close to Dewhurst, and he holds on to that and can launch an attack for the Shots. It's a long throw up to Barham, and Barham looked like he just maybe got out-muscled there by Luo, but referee says he manhandled him too much, and it's a free kick to Aldershot inside the Bees half.
Maybe Josh Barrett back on the field now for Aldershot to take. That's a good sign for them.
Yeah, it seems to have run off any potential niggle that he might have picked up. Just the 16 goals this season.
Just the 16.
Not a bad return. Same as Callum Stead, who is the Bees' top scorer. In it comes from Barrett towards the back post. The header comes in towards Owen Evans' goal, but it loops up and over the crossbar, and it's out harmlessly for a goal kick to the Bees. 31 minutes gone. Barnet 2, Aldershot Town 0. Here's Evans for the Bees, inside his own half. And now Nick Tavares. Aluo, good touch from him. Can he drive the Bees forward? Instead lays it off to Coker, and he goes back to Tavares. The Bees patient in possession as always. Evans taking his time to lay it off to Tavares. Aldershot in no rush to press them, although Barham is full of energy. Here's Aluo. Brown on the halfway line plays it back to Tavares again. The Bees have found several openings so far, and I'd be shocked if they didn't get another at the very least. Ball played up by Owen Evans towards the right-hand side. Glover, can he nod it on towards Love? No. And Love, has he outmuscled his man? He's won the ball in the penalty area. It's still in Love. He overran it, and it was a really good recovery in the end from Luca Woodhouse, because if he made the space for himself, he'd have been in.
Yeah, he's had an eventful half, hasn't he, Luca Woodhouse? Those 2 good headers and dispossessed Liam Love there. Liam Love just took too much time on the ball, should have perhaps got a shot off or tried to lay it off. There were a couple of Bees players on the edge of the box, Mark Shelton one of them potentially for his hat-trick.
Absolutely, a first half hat-trick would be amazing for Shelts. Great ball though for Aldershot to Aaron Jones on the right hand side, driving at Coker, comes into the middle. Has he been bundled over by Brown? It's a free kick for the Shots just outside the area, and that looked a little bit dangerous, didn't it?
Yeah, very close to that penalty, or the box, shall I say, and potentially could have been a penalty, but it's not.
Would have been the third penalty in the game. 2 for Barnet, 1 for Shots, but alas, it's on the edge of the area. But given Josh Barrett's quality of deliveries, Owen Evans, you would fancy, will be tested. It's just to the right hand side, just on this near side, on the edge of the area. He could, with the right foot, find Owen Evans' near post, which is where the wall is, or he could whip it in. There's several Aldershot players lined up inside the box, and if Shots can get a goal back now, it would make for an interesting game.
Yeah, Josh Barrett will certainly fancy himself from here. He scored from further out than here this season many a time.
Well, if he can get it up and over, let's see. Evans has left some space. He drives it straight into the wall. Wall does its job brilliantly, and he gets one in towards the middle. Aluo gets an important header away, and it comes out to the Shots on the left-hand side. It's miscontrolled, but just about kept in, actually, and the Shots have it on the left-hand side, just in the middle of the park. Goes back. Here's Jones for the Shots. Shots plays a long ball up to Barrett, who puts a thumbs up to his teammate. Not sure why, really, because it was a very poor ball. Here comes Coker for the Bees as they try and launch a quick attack just past the halfway line. He checks back instead and goes to Hartigan. Hartigan over to Shelton. Shelton now Collinge on the right hand side. Feigns to pass and instead hangs on to the ball. Dean Brennan is as vociferous and gesticulating wildly as ever. It doesn't matter that they're 2-0 up in a game where they only need a point to win the league. That is the sort of man Dean Brennan is.
Yeah, really demanding coaches, and he always wants more from his team.
Yeah, I think demanding might be a bit of an understatement, if that. Back with Owen Evans now. 35 minutes gone, or just ticking over to the 36th. Barnet 2, Aldershot Town 0. Both goals penalties from Mark Shelton. Hornets, the header is completely missed there by Will Armitage, and it goes out for an Aldershot goal kick. But if Brown had gambled there, he might have been able to fashion a good opportunity, but it's played forward by Dewhurst. Up to Borum. Collins is surely going to win that header. He does towards Shelton. Shelton misses the header, but it comes to Hartigan.
Yeah, I'm amazed that Aldershot are going with this approach and so many long balls forward. You know, they've got some, the likes of Henry and Barham who want the ball to feet, and you aren't going to win much if you're playing against Collins or Aluwu on that in that back three, are you?
Aldershot work it well in midfield, and they can launch an attack of their own here with Barrett, who's been one of the most involved players for Aldershot. Lays it off. The shot comes in from James Henry, but it's blocked, and it's Theo Wooderington now. Barrett tries the ball into Henry, but it's well blocked, and the Bees win possession back, although Stead needs to be careful here, manages to get it back to Evans well, and Evans clears it first time up towards and Love, although it's fallen short, and Glover went for the header. He's actually committed a foul there against Woodhouse, and it's a free kick to Aldershot, who have grown in the game since that dodgy start.
Yeah, I think Tommy Widgerton will be pleased with the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes or so. They've been getting on the ball more. We've seen more of James Henry, who's not had a great deal of the ball in the first sort of 35 minutes or so, but yeah, they're certainly coming back into it, playing it a little bit more in Barnet's half.
Witherington tries to find Jones on the right hand side. It was a great ball, but it's a poor pass back from Jones, and Reece Brown nips in ahead of Josh Barrett. Goes in between his man, and advantage played by the ref, but it was actually a sloppy ball out from Brown, and the referee pulls it back for a free kick to Barnet, which is a good thing because he gave it away in a dodgy area there.
Yeah, Theo Widgerton was ready to pounce, wasn't he, with that under-hit pass, and there was space to drive into, but luckily the referee pulled it back for a free kick.
Here's Shelton over to the right with Danny Collinge, another integral part of Dean Brennan's side, one of the oldest surviving members of Dean Brennan's original squad when he took over. Back with Evans again.
Yeah, it's great that we've got this Barnet team that look like they're going to win the league, with little sprinklings of all the iterations of a Dean Brennan side over the years at Barnet. You just talk about it there, Danny Collinge, one of the first Barnet teams that Brennan had to the present day as well.
It has been a project. Here come Aldershot now with Henry. They have definitely grown into this game as a presence, have Aldershot. And here they come on the left-hand side. Cross comes in towards the area, but it only finds the head of Aluwo, who gets it clear. Cannon Love win the ball against Woodhouse. Woodhouse does really well there, actually, against Leon Love, who not many have the beating of. And here comes Woodhouse. Gets the ball over to Witherington. That's a really good ball in towards the area. Here's Witherington again. Manages to get control of the ball. Danny Collins for company. Oh, it's a late challenge from Witherington there. And he needs to be very careful given the profile of player that Witherington is. He's got an immediate yellow card from the referee there. But given that the incident against Ryan Glover in the reverse fixture where he elbowed Ryan Glover and got away with that one, he needs to be careful given the type of player that Theo Witherington is.
Yeah, he just overran the ball a little bit there, stretched him for it, and I wouldn't say it was a malicious challenge, but he certainly got his studs on to Callumstead there and rightly booked.
So it's Evans with the Barnet free kick well inside his own half, taking his time, just lays it short to Tavares on the edge of his own D. Lays it off to Aluwo on this left-hand side. Can he build an attack now? Driving past the halfway line. Here's Brown. Now Coker. Shelton made a really good run there, but Coker didn't find him. And Shelton is bemused with Coker.
Yeah, furious. Wanted a third goal.
He would have been clean through there, and it's a really good area for the Bees to exploit. Has Brown managed to keep it in? Great work from Brown on this near side. Still Brown. He finds Shelton almost in a pocket of space there. Just couldn't quite get the pass right. Because you'd fancy Shelton. I fancy Shelton to get a hat-trick today.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed if he doesn't get a hat-trick or more at this rate. And that's what, that is Mark Shelton that we perhaps didn't see at Oldham, but we saw certainly in the Hartlepool team that he got promoted with. That sort of those runs from deep through midfield, lots of energy and power. He starts off deep now. He's over in his own half, and then when they got that chance to feed him through, he bursts into the space, and a couple of times he's been in those positions for Barnet.
That's right, he fits the Harry Pritchard mould actually as well. Dewhurst takes no chances and plays it forward. Danny Collins wins the header, but it's only up in the air, but Hartigan gets control of the loose ball, and the Bees have another chance to launch an attack here on 41 and a half minutes. Plays it forward, does Hartigan, gets it back from Coker, who's occupying a pretty advanced position as well. Now Shelton making another one of his runs as Hartigan plays it infield to Tavares. Everyone bar Aluwo and Evans inside the Aldershot half. Collins forward to Tavares, back with Hartigan. He's got Brown on the left. Instead he finds Coker in a great little pocket. Coker gets one quickly into the middle. Glover wanted to get there and couldn't quite get enough contact on it, but Stead has rescued the loose ball, plays it back to Danny Collins just inside the penalty area on the far side. Well, that was far too short, and Shelton needed a shout there as he went for the ball first time, and Aldershot can launch a counter-attack here with Josh Barrett. Barrett tries one over to Jack Barham, chests it down for himself. Barham got the shot away first time with his left, but straight into the hands of Owen Evans, and Olays from the Bees crowd, I think tinged with the fact that Barham used to play for Barnet.
Yeah, I talked about it before, didn't we, that he perhaps would have fancied himself for a goal today, but yeah, really good from Owen Evans, really well dealt with. He's not had a lot to do so far, has he, but did well there.
He had to be there, as they say. Evans plays a long ball up towards Love. Now, can he get the better of his man? Great turn from Love, who completely rolls his man. Still in Love, can he find a yard? And Love tried to hook one in with his left, but it was a really good recovery in the end from Ellison.
Yeah, Dan Ellison, one of a number of players on this pitch who've represented England C, did really well there, coming back to stop Leon Everett. He'll be disappointed he perhaps couldn't get a shot off.
It was a good recovery, but that just shows you the strength of Leon Love. It was just a simple long ball from Owen Evans, and that time it was dealt with Ellison, but there may be another time when he doesn't. He was left completely one-on-one there. Well, Hartigan can take a corner for the Bees. The first one that they had indirectly led to a penalty. What can this one? do. In it comes from Hardigan. Aluwo rises for it. It's fallen to Brown. Can he get control of it? Heads it over back to Hartigan, who can lay it off to Brown again. Oh, Brown tried his drop of the shoulder, but ended up slipping, lost his footing there, and Aldershot can launch a counter-attack if they're quick about this. Here they come in the middle of the park now with Henry. Drills one to the left with Barham. Great ball. Just about gets control of it. Not the best touch from Barham as Tavares forces him back to Witherington. And now Tetek gets it back from his forward man. Barrett lays it back off to him, and here's Tetek still back with Barrett again. Still Barrett. Turns Callum Stead, great strength from him. Up against Tavares, gets one over to the left-hand side with Frost. Frost in towards the area. Can he find some space? He's forced back by Shelton to Witherington. Now Witherington plays it forward. They can't quite make it stick, and the Bees are able to regain control of possession. The deflection takes it over to Owen Evans, and danger averted.
Yeah, just a point on that there. That sums up Barnet, really. That Aldershot had a good chance to counter. They had 4 or 5 men on, and within seconds you've got 7 Barnet players plus the goalkeeper in their own half and stifled out the chance for Aldershot. You know, that work rate that we've seen under Dean Brennan, it's brilliant, isn't it? And that's probably one of the key reasons why they are where they are.
Absolutely. Well, Dean Brennan has always been a big advocate for fitness in his squad. Not just demanding in terms of tactics and how he wants to play, but fitness such a big part of it. Great ball over to Ryan Glover. Can he keep this ball in on the far side? He can. Glover drills one in towards the middle, but is behind and Love, who is frustrated with that delivery. 3 minutes of added time onto this electric first half in which the Bees have scored 2 penalties early doors. Glover in towards Callum Stead. Stead went for the shot with his left. It wasn't an amazing amount of power on it, but the header takes it out for a Barnet corner.
Be a nice time to get a third goal, wouldn't it?
Absolutely would, and if anyone deserves one, it's certainly Callum Stead. His work rate epitomises what you just said, Joe, about the demands that he puts on his players. Dean Brennan famously said that Callum Stead would chase a crisp packet in the wind. So I think always conjures up a nice image. It's almost poetic. But it's going to be Ben Coker on the far side who can whip one in. In it comes from Coker. Collins manages to head it back, but it's an overhead kick clearance from Aldershot that only finds Mark Shelton. Now Hartigan back with Shelton again, just on this left-hand side. He's got Collins as the short pass, finds Collins. Back to Hartigan. Now Shelton again, right on this near side. As we tick over to half-time, forward towards Brown. Now Stead. Coker is on that right-hand side now. Forced back. Bit of a short pass, but Hartigan manages to get it forward to Shelton. But Aldershot intercept, and Aluwo now has the ball, manages to get it over to Danny Collins with a bit of good fortune. And here is Danny Collins taking on his man inside the penalty area. Great work from Danny Collins. And, wow, that was prime Beckenbauer there, as he tried to bend one into the far corner. And that would have been some goal. Yeah,
that would have been the icing on the first half, wouldn't it? A little cheeky nutmeg from Danny Collins, and couldn't quite keep his curling effort underneath the post. But yeah, they just haven't relented, have they, Barnet? They've got 2 goals, they want more.
Well, the word relentless is one that Dean Brennan uses a hell of a lot. If you ever want to do Dean Brennan bingo, character, relentless, no easy games. These are the phrases and words we hear so much from the Irishman. Tavares thinks about letting it run back to Evans. Instead manages to get it back to Evans. Calm as you like. Evans gets it forward towards Love. Can he make it stick? No. And Love chases Marcus Dewhurst, who you don't want to see Liam Love running at you, do you? That's an excellent touch from Barham just on the edge of the area as the ball was played forward. Here's Henry for the shots. Infield to Witherington. Witherington goes for a speculative effort and gets it wrong. Well over the bar and into the grass verge behind the goal. And it's a goal kick for the Bees. And that's half-time. Well, what a brilliant first half it is for the Bees. 2 goals, 2 penalties, both converted by Mark Shelton, who's now on 11 goals for the season. He got one against Sutton last time out. As I said on comms, it's raining penalties. And after an electric start from the Bees, Aldershot grew into the game a little bit. They have taken the game back to the Bees, but Barnet in truth are in cruise control, and as it stands they are romping to victory here, and not only that, romping to a title win. Joe, what did you make of that first half?
Exactly what I expected from Barnet, to be honest. I expected Dean Brennan to set his team out to be really aggressive on the front foot, come out and make a statement early on, and they've done that. A couple of early goals, should have had more, potentially disappointed that they haven't got more than 2 so far, but that's only Dean Brennan and the standards that his players have set. But yeah, I mean, he'll be absolutely delighted with the performance so far.
They've certainly had plenty of chances to get 3, 4 and 5, haven't they? I mean, Aldershot have been in 6s and 7s defensively at times.
Yeah, and you can perhaps see why Aldershot have conceded 6s and 7s this year. Barnet will be disappointed that the likes of Stead and Love haven't been able to put that finishing touch on a number of opportunities that they've had. But they'll certainly be pleased with their first 45.
So Barnet 2, Aldershot Town 0, which, as I will keep saying because it's so good to say, it means that Barnet will be back in the EFL after a 7-year absence, as long as it stays like this, even if they were to concede 2 goals, which seems extremely unlikely at this stage. But let's see if the Bees can kick on and really make this a memorable occasion and a memorable scoreline. Barnet 2, Aldershot 0 at half-time. We will see you for the second half very shortly. Well, out come the teams for the second half here of Barnet against Aldershot. Barnet have a 2-goal advantage thanks to 2 penalties from the coolest man in the building, let's just put it that way. Mark Shelton, his 3rd penalty scored in just 2 games, and he's on for a hat-trick, Joe.
Yeah, he'll be confident of getting that hat-trick in the second half, and the way he's been playing in the first half, you wouldn't put it past him, would you? He's probably been, we wouldn't want to single out anybody, but he's probably been man of the match today for me. I think his energy off the ball, his runs in behind, he's probably been the pick of those today. Albeit, Barnet have really impressed me as a collective so far. So many players have been brilliant.
Well, are we going to see some more goals? The party is already in full swing as Ryan Glover comes over to the Bees fans on this near side, pumps them up. This is really the final hurdle now, and boy are they jumping over it right now.
No changes for Aldershot, interestingly.
Does that surprise you, Joe? Although there is someone lining up there. Or is he just on the pitch?
No, he's on the pitch.
No, he's on the pitch. You're quite right, Joe.
Yeah, I am a bit surprised by that, because Aldershot have been good in and around the box, but they've lacked that presence. I thought we could potentially see Kwame Thomas come on for the shots, but no, same 11 for both teams.
Here is Callum Stead for the Bees on the near side, lays it off to Clinch. Clinch in field to Shelton, back to Glover, he's got a bit of space just on the edge of the penalty area, dinks one in towards and Love, it's flicked away, almost nonchalantly there, and it comes out to Reece Brown on the far side. Can the Bees start the second half as brilliantly as they started the first? Hartigan tries one first time in towards and Love with his left, but it was a bit aimless, and it's collected by Marcus Dewhurst.
Yeah, I mean, Dean Brennan would have been no doubt saying at half-time, go and get that third goal, was whilst it stays at 2-0, it gives that incentive for Aldershot that 1 goal and they're suddenly back in it. So I'm expecting Barnet to keep going for that 3rd goal.
Here's Evans with the ball at his feet. Lays it off to Tavares. Still Evans taking his time, back with Tavares again. Tavares back to Evans once again. No rush from the Bees. Evans drills one up towards Love. Can he roll his man again? There was a bit too much on it, and Love almost got the better of Ellison there, but it was just overhit by Evans. Aldershot come away with it. Here's Witherington, launches one up the right channel, but it ends up right on top of the Hive stand, of the solar panels on the Hive stand.
Yeah, Witherington Senior, very not happy with Witherington Junior there as he rakes one straight off the pitch.
That's going to be an awkward car ride home, I think. Shelton. Now with Coker on the far side. Aluwo, Tavares. And all the way back to Owen Evans. Tavares again. Aluwo on the far side. Plays on forward with his left. Reece Brown holds it up well. Can he turn his man? Great feet from him once again. He's just so good with the ball. Brown forward towards Stead. Stead less good with the ball there, but he manages to get away with it, and Tavares has it now for the Bees. Playing it patiently in their own half at the moment, not forcing it. Evans is going to look to Love again. This time doesn't hit it so strongly, and Love holds it up brilliantly and lays it off to Shelton. Great way to get up the pitch quickly. And here's Glover. Goes short to Shelton. Shelton being forced back well by Tyler Frost. And here's Evans again. Evans with a lovely floated ball towards Love. Good touch from him. Has he been pulled down? No, he hasn't. He's got his hands on his head. He wants a foul, but no one was really appealing, and Aldershot can launch a counter. Loose touch there, and it's going to go out for a Barnet throw, and I think James Emery is claiming that he was pulled back there.
Yeah, he pulled up. He nicked the ball past, I think it was Hanty Hartigan, and didn't go round to receive the ball. Pulled up, expected a free kick, didn't get one. as the ball trickled out of play.
Here's Coker on the far side, pulls it back to Oluwo, back with Evans now. Barham doing his level best to try and chase it down. Evans drills one over to the right with Glover, who misses the header, but it's out by Frost for a Barnet throw in their own half. Just on this near side, 49 minutes gone, Barnet 2, Aldershot Town 0. Both goals coming in the first half. Tavares again for the Bees. Good ball over to Glover inside the Aldershot half, and Glover drives inside. Great work from Glover now. Can they rejuvenate the excitement of the first half here? Another goal would go a long way to doing that. Coker, infield to Glover again on that left-hand side. Glover being forced back to Hartigan. And now Collins got a bit of space to operate. Plays it over to Shelton, needs to be quick as he's chased down by Frost. Lays it off to Collins in the middle. All inside the Aldershot half. Glover lays it off to Brown. Patient stuff once again as they look to unlock this Aldershot defence. Brown gets it forward towards Shelton, but it was just a little bit too in front of him, and Shelton couldn't trap it, but it's the Bees who win it back instantly. Loose pass there, and here's Glover. Forward to Brown, who's in some space. Can he make some space with a shot? Lays it off to Shelton, who's on for that hat-trick, but he can't find a yard for the shot. Here's Collins, back over to Shelton. In towards the middle for Love, and Love tried a similar goal to what he scored against Dagenham here in the last minute of the game, but this time instead of finding the near corner, it's out for a goal kick. I think there are going to be a few sore heads tomorrow, Joe.
Yeah, I think speaking to a couple of the fans outside, sounds like they're already in party mood before the game, so there certainly will be now and will definitely be after.
And I shall be one of them. Here's Brown. Now Hartigan again. Coming forward for the Bees inside the Aldershot half, lays it square to Shelton. Can he line one up from range? It's fallen to Stead perfectly, and there's the third! It was a beautifully kind deflection for Callum Stead as Shelton tried the long ranger, and he just rolled it calmly into Dewhurst's net, and there is the third goal and Callum Stead's 17th of the season. It's Barnet 3, Aldershot Town 0, and the party rolls on.
Yeah, you used the word in the first half, aplomb, and that was it. Callum Stead rolls it past despondent Marcus Dewhurst, but another goal with the fingerprints of Mark Shelton all over them.
Absolutely, he may not have got a hat-trick yet, but it's 2 goals for Shelton and an indirect assist, and Callum Stead was in the right place at the right time to finish off, and it's 3-0 to the Bees on their big day here, and they are absolutely romping their way to their 4th National League title, and it's going to be some atmosphere here at full time. It already is.
I see the banners have been brought out in front of us, and to our left with champions on.
Absolutely. Would have been awkward if they had to go in the bin.
Yeah.
But they definitely won't be. And those who have managed to make the journey to the Hive today in this bumper crowd are enjoying something quite spectacular, really, against an Aldershot side who are putting in a York-esque performance so far, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, and Barnet have missed a couple of good opportunities in the first half that this quite easily could be a York-esque performance, 4s and 5s, and yeah, I mean, Barnet has, they come out and they've been brilliant. We used that word in the first half, relentless. They've kept on going, they've got that third goal, but they're still going, still want those goals.
I think they want 100 goals as well.
What, in this game, or?
They've scored 93 goals now, so 7 more takes them to 100 goals. See if they can get a few more today, and they've got a great chance to do it again against AFC Fylde next week.
Yeah, well,
they like shipping a few.
One of the comments in the first half was that we wanted to see they get to double digits in this game. One of the comments, I think it was Jim in the first half. So.
Well, as it stands, it might get there. Here's Brown driving towards a goal. Heavy touch from him, but it comes out to Shelton. Back to Brown, just inside the penalty area on this near side. Oh, and Brown has just passed it out for for a goal kick. He just totally took his eye off the ball there.
Yeah,
a goal kick to the shots.
But that sums up by every time there's a challenge that goes in and they lose the ball, there's always 2 or 3 Barnet players there around the loose ball picking it up. Mark Shelton again. Is there more than one Mark Shelton on the pitch today?
Yeah, I think the referee needs to start counting the players for sure. And you did say, when I said Aldershot were in 6s and 7s, you said it could end up being 6s and 7s in terms of the scoreline. And that would be some way to round off what has been an utterly superlative season for this Barnet side. And I think if they were to concede a goal against Aldershot today, Dean Brennan would be seething.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sort of manager that he is, isn't it? He'll be driving those standards, wants a clean sheet as well as a couple of more goals.
And here's Collins driving forward to do exactly that. Collins gets it over to Glover on the right, in towards the middle. Dewhurst slaps at it. It's Brown into the middle, and it's surely over the line, is it? Yes! It's Callumstead again! It's 4-0! Could be a cricket score at this point. It's Callumstead's second of the game, his 18th of the season, and it's Barnet 4, Aldershot Town 0, and this just keeps getting better and better and better, as John Motson would say.
Yeah, I think the word is gloss now, isn't it? They're adding it, and this is a proper performance from Barnet. As the cheers ring around of "We are going up."
If there was
Ryan Glover orchestrating the crowd here.
He is loving it, is Ryan Glover, against his former side. Callumstead just got enough contact on that to get it past Marcus Dewhurst, who was hapless in goal, couldn't keep it from crossing the line. And the Bees look voracious today. And I said about 100 goals, it's on. Looks like another miserable afternoon for Tommy Witherington's side and the hardy souls that have made the trip from Hampshire. Glover forward, 2 and Love on the halfway line. Headed, Hartigan rescues that ball on the centre circle, but Aldershot win it back with Tetek. Turns just in the centre circle.
As I see, we will see some changes now for Aldershot. Kwame Thomas.
Talk about closing the stable door when the horse has already bolted. In towards the middle, Tavares needs to be careful here, and he is, as always. Comes away with the ball, and Bees play their way out of trouble. Luwo hooks it forward towards Love, and Love gets the header, but it's only in the wrong direction. Brown almost rescues it, but it just shows you the work rate that the Bees are putting in today. They're not happy with 4. They want 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I see Theo Widrington coming off there for Aldershot. And there'll be Emmanuel Madja, formerly of Enfield and Banbury, that's coming on for Aldershot in that midfield. And Josh Barrett, potentially with an eye to the Wembley final. Keeper obviously had that knock in the first half, he's going off as well. And Kwame Thomas, that we talked about at half-time, that I thought we might see at half-time. We've seen him before the hour mark.
Yeah. Well, he played here for Ebbsfleet as well, and he got his first goal for the Fleet at York. Did Kwame Thomas, if we see him today, but it's, as you say, the end of Josh Barrett's afternoon. No 17th goal for him. But it's 18 for the season for Callumstead, who will fancy 20 for the season. It'll be great for his numbers, as well as Barnet's numbers. And on 58 minutes, it is Barnet 4, Aldershot Town 0. I did say to you again, I think in the first half, it'd be great if the Bees could do a Chelsea and win the league. You know, like they did against Wigan, I think, against Wigan 8-0. And the fans are quite literally bouncing to the left of us, the young lads who are waving the flags and really soaking up the occasion. They are not just winning this league, they are storming it. Aldershot play it around the back line. Infield to Henry, who collects from deep. Still Henry. Drills one forward towards Barham, chests it backwards. And he's offside, is Barham, who's having a bit of a hapless afternoon. Collins takes it quickly towards Stead as they try and launch a fast attack here. Stead too quick there for Madger. And it's a throw-in. Stead thinks about taking it quickly to Shelton, instead leaves it for Glover. And I can barely hear myself think, such is the atmosphere here so far. Here's Stead on this near side. Loose pass, and it's well intercepted by Frost inside the Aldershot half. And the Shots come away with it now. I think if there were any Shots fans listening in, I think they might have tuned out now.
Yeah, potentially. Well, yeah, I mean, a brilliant performance from Barnet, isn't it? And the way that they're playing, you wouldn't put it past that being the 4 goals, being a couple more before the end.
Well, the biggest win they had this season was a 7-0 victory against Tamworth, where they could have easily scored about 9 or 10 that day. And Tamworth, to be fair to them, kicked on after that. Most recently, Barnet won 5-0 at home to Yeovil Town, which is where you hail from, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, and I see they're winning this afternoon, or certainly were at half-time against Sutton. Had a bit of an indifferent season this year under Mark Cooper, but a good enough season in their first year back in the National League.
Shots have possession in their own half now, and with 60 minutes gone, it's up to the Bees how far they want to push this. But their appetite definitely looks voracious at the moment. Aldershot playing it dangerously around the back, and Dewhurst is forced forward. It's a poor ball out, and it'll be controlled by Hartigan. Bit of a loose touch from him though, and the Shots win it back in midfield. Here's Madger. Now Woodhouse on this left-hand side, being hounded by Callum Stead. Glover nips in there. Oh, he was really unlucky there. Did so well to win it off Frost, but Frost manages to get it back. Ball across the pitch is almost intercepted by the sliding feet of Reece Brown, but Aldershot retain possession and come forward now. Ball played across the left to Woodhouse. Woodhouse tries the ball first time over the top towards Frost, but he gets that completely wrong, and it's out for a throw-in right by the Barnet corner flag.
Yeah, Ryan Glover to take, and I'm sure he'd love a goal to cap off the afternoon, wouldn't he, against his former side.
I'd be very surprised if he doesn't get one. I just think the way football works, he's got to, surely.
Got to.
Well, Shelton and Callum Stead both on hat-tricks as well today. Which one of them could do it? Who's your money on?
Well, only one. Both, isn't it? Got to be both.
Let's not get greedy here. The ball comically comes off the face of Ellison, and it's a Barnet throw-in inside the Aldershot half, about halfway inside, and Love is the option. Glover throws it quickly to him, back to Love, who got a bit of space to drive forward here, lays it off to Callum Stead on the right. Now Glover lays it off to Stead. Here's Collins. Stead again. I think Dean Brennan is sitting comfortably for the first time in a Barnet jersey.
Yeah, I'm not even sure Dean Brennan will be too animated in this one. 4-0 up.
Conserve your energy, Dino. Conserve your energy. Here's Glover as the Bees work it side to side in that familiar horseshoe. Glover up against Frost, lays it off short to Stead inside. Oh, it's a brilliant dummy, but Collins, he almost fooled Collins slightly, and it's a loose touch. Aldershot win the ball back. Oh, that's a little poor there as they played the ball out. And here's Madger, the substitute for the Shots, being hounded by Tavares, but does well and plays it forward to Tete. Henry lays it off to the right-hand side now. Ball comes in towards Jack Barham, but it's going to be easily dealt with by Luo, but it's a bit of a wayward header, and it's out for an Aldershot throw inside the Bees half. Here's Madger, loose touch from him. Callum Stead almost nips in. but he manages to lay it off to Dejan Tetek. Oh, that's a really loose ball back, and it just shows you the level of quality or the lack thereof that Aldershot are displaying right now.
Yeah, certainly today. I think they are on their day a talented side, and they've got some really good ball players in midfield, but they've just not shown it today, albeit against the Barnet team who, even though they are winning 4-0, are still hounding and trying to win the ball back wherever they can.
Yeah, this is a side you really don't want to play if you're Aldershot right now. And Dean Brennan actually described Tommy Witherington's sides as flamboyant, eccentric. And I sort of interpreted that to mean they can win 7-0 one day and lose 7-0 the next.
Yeah, I mean, when they are good, they are very good.
Well, that's a brilliant ball over the top to Callum Stead, who's got loads of space here. Can he get it? Can he get it into Love in the middle? Pulls it back. Oh, that's a really important interception there from Will Armitage in the end. Just couldn't quite get it right, Callum Stead. If he was more selfish there, he might have fashioned a shot, but tried to find Love. Just couldn't quite get it. Yeah,
really good defensive clearance from Will Armitage. How many times now is that Barnet players putting the ball into the box and that last-ditch challenge or header or touch behind? Certainly, even though they've scored 4, they'll be a little bit disappointed. They haven't got more so far.
Certainly, and I would be very surprised, which is the kiss of death really, if there weren't more goals for the Bees in this. And it's going to be Ben Coker on the near side to take the corner. In it comes from Coker, and it's scrambling around in the middle. Can someone get a shot away? It's like pinball in the area, and it manages to come clear. Tetek drove it clear, a bit of a heavy touch, but Shelton closes it down, and it's a throw into Aldershot on the far side, but a bit of a hairy moment there for the shots, but they got lucky in the end.
Yeah, one of the players that was key in that is Dejan Tetek, who I've actually been quite impressed by so far today for Aldershot. They haven't had the best of afternoons, but he's one that's looked pretty tidy on the ball, always looking to receive it under pressure, as he does, right on cue. Receives it and gets the attack going. He's been quite good today.
You do get the sense that Aldershot are a little bit fearful in possession at the moment, given Barnet's work rate and the desire from this crowd to take the game to its absolute limit.
Yeah, it's just Aldershot don't simply have any time on the ball. Every time they get it, there's always 2 or 3 or even more Barnet players around them trying to win the ball back. So hence why we've seen so many times Aldershot having to just spring the ball long because they're under pressure from Barnet players to win it back.
But Madger does. There is some time for the shots on this near side. It's back to Madger now. Now Frost on this left-hand side. In towards the back post, headed back into the middle. Aluwo gets an important header away, and the Bees come away with it with Coker.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't that just sum up Barnet there? I've said it before already today, but all 10 players bar Liam Love behind the ball for Barnet. That work rate, that desire to get back for the team, to stifle out Aldershot.
Oh, Collins almost found a way through Luca Woodhouse, but Woodhouse stood firm.
He'll fancy himself to have a goal today, Danny Collins, and he's on marauding runs from centre back.
That is the Danny Collins way. Ball played forwards towards Kwame Thomas, and here's Madger. For the champions, stand up is the cry at the Hive, and most of the fans are obliging here. Why wouldn't they? It's been an absolutely monumental season for this football club, and they will almost certainly now be playing league football once again next season, and deservedly so. Dean Brennan's side just going at it now. Liam Love, brimming with confidence, turned his man there and was fouled in the process. Just on that far side past the halfway line. And it looks like he's going to be making a change here. I think it's going to be Zach Brunt.
Not a bad player to bring on when you're 4-0 up with 20 minutes to play.
Certainly isn't, and I imagine it'll be one of probably Reece Brown, you would think, maybe.
Jack Barham coming off for Aldershot in the meantime. And Ollie Bray, formerly of Weston-super-Mare and Willen Rovers in Devon, coming on.
Thank you, Joe. So, no goal for Barham against his former side today. Barham, what's the score? And he's actually got a response from Barham, all in good nature. Well, off comes Reece Brown, who's had a really good game once again today and been another integral part of Dean Brennan's title-winning, let's just say it, title-winning squad this season. Signed from Woking, such quality on his day, suffers with injury. If he didn't suffer with injury so much, he would almost certainly be playing far higher. And on comes Zach Brunt, who himself has had a really good season. One of Dean Brennan's favourites.
Yeah, nice moment there. Dean Brennan giving Reece Brown a big hug as he comes off, saying, "You're going to be an EFL player next year."
And that just typifies Barnet really being able to replace quality with quality. Strength in depth. Dean Brennan has been at pains to say how important that is if you want to have success in the National League. And it is paying dividends here. Owen Evans launches one forward towards and Love. The header away from Aldershot goes out for a Barnet throw inside the Shot's half. 70 minutes gone, Barnet 4, Aldershot 0, Shelton with 2, Callum Stead with 2. And Love lays it off well for Brunt, his first involvement, lays it off to Shelton, over to the right-hand side with Glover, just inside the penalty area, tries to get one into the box, has Dewhurst prevented a corner? No, he hasn't. Half-hearted shells for handball, would have been the third penalty of the game, but I don't think the referee was ever going to oblige there.
Ben Coker with his wand of a left foot going to whip this in from the corner as Adioluwu trudges up from the back. Nice to repeat his goal from last weekend.
Be great for him to get another one. He's come up with some huge goals this season. None more so than York City here at home. And Sutton United just on Easter Monday. So it's going to be Coker with another corner here. In it comes, it's a bit too close to Dewhurst. Fumbles it, but he's been fouled in the process by Brunt. And it's a free kick to the Shots. Dewhurst is down in a heap on the floor. But I think he'll probably be all right. I think he's clutching his back. Again, he's another one that certainly Toby Witherington won't want to lose.
No, he's had a fantastic season for Aldershot. Played last year for the near neighbours down the road in blue last year. But yeah, he's had a great season for Aldershot. Had a lot of work to do, mind you. But
yeah, he's been busy today for sure. Kieran Hurahan, I think I can hear the fans all the way from where I am in Tynemouth. Newcastle in brackets, just in case anyone doesn't know. Here come the Bees launching another attack in the midfield. Here's Brunt. They drive forward. Oh, brilliant. He's found Shelton in loads of space. Shelton might line one up from range. Shelton fancies a third, but it's a good block in the end. Didn't quite get hold of it in the way he would have wanted. We've seen some absolute screamers from Mark Shelton, none more so than the goal against Ebbsfleet here, for which he won goal of the season.
Yeah, Callum Stead throws his arms up at Mark Shelton, furious he wasn't laid in there.
Yeah, well, if Shelton can't get a hat-trick, he's not going to give it to Steady, is he? Almost 73 minutes gone. Barnet 4, Aldershot Town 0. Shelton with 2 goals. Callum Stead as well with 2, both on hat-tricks. We'll see which one, if either of them, can manage to get a third goal.
It'd be apt, wouldn't it, given the disappointment against Solihull Moors, that they actually win 4-0 to win the title, wouldn't it?
Poetry in motion, Joe. Poetry in motion. Barnet win a throw-in inside the Aldershot half on the far side. James Dillery is listening in Pontyclun, Wales. Up the Bees, he says. Vasey79 says gutted couldn't be there today, but I do hope our coverage is somewhat filling that void. I know it's not quite the same, but this is a picture of sheer jubilation and one hell of a party atmosphere so far. Stead has been clattered and he's won a free kick inside the Aldershot half. He's clutching his face actually. It was a bit of a nasty one there in the end, but I'm sure he'll be okay. Ref's called the physio on, and it's actually going to be a yellow card for, I believe, James Henry.
Oh, it looked like Liam Love actually for protesting against the referee.
Well, let's see if you're right, Joe.
Liam Love not happy with something here as he squares up to a couple of Aldershot players, including captain Aaron Jones, who was actually sent off in the return game at the EBB.
Certainly was. Well, it was difficult to see up here what quite happened. It just looked like Stead maybe caught one. Didn't seem to be anything malicious, but without the benefit of replays we can't really see. It does mean that Callum Stead is still receiving treatment. Had a brilliant game so far as Stead. Bit quiet in the first half, but grabbed his brace in the second, and he certainly deserved it. Been an absolutely key player for Dean Brennan's Barnet since making the step up from Brackley. He wasn't quite ready for full-time football. He was eased in, bit of a project for Dean Brennan, and he's literally been turned into a key player and almost undroppable.
Yeah, I'd certainly say that project's gone rather well.
Because as it stands, Barnet Football Club are back in League 2 this season for the first time since 2018. That fateful day when they won 3-0 here under Martin Allen against Chesterfield. And despite that brilliant win in the sunshine with another packed out Hive, results elsewhere, Coventry and Morecambe drawing 0-0 meant that the Bees went down cruelly on goal difference despite a incredible upturn in form under Martin Allen. It was just a game too late, and for the next 7 years it was just pain and heartbreak really, all the wrong sorts of jeopardy, seasons of disappointment and mediocrity. But it has just clicked under Dean Brennan, who has worked absolute miracles given where Barnet were just 3.5 years ago. And Stead has actually been bandaged up here, and he's going to play the rest of the game with a bandage around his head. He looks a bit like an action hero, unless he's having to come off.
Yeah, I think Callum Stead's actually disappointed that he might be coming off here and not got the chance to get his hat-trick. Looks like it's Harry Chapman.
Yeah, that's correct. That's really disappointing for Callum Stead, but he's getting an absolutely superb standing ovation here. Is Callum Stead, who's playing his final Barnet home game of this season, where he's bagged 2 goals and helped Barnet on their way to an emphatic victory at the Hive. He's going to be replaced here by Harry Chapman, who has struggled with injuries this season, but another quality player to bring on, and he'll fancy a goal himself. Will Harry Chapman?
Isn't that just the Barnet mindset that Callum Stead takes one to the face, goes off, has to be bandaged, and he's disappointed he's come off. He wants more, he still wants to play.
You could just see him shaking his head, couldn't you? Anyway, free kick is going to be finally taken by Hardigan, who gets it short to the left-hand side with Coker, who will try and find a yard for the cross, surely. No, checks back instead, plays it short into Brunt. Brunt short into Hartigan. Shelton's in a bit of space infield. Now Shelton plays it into and Love turns and Love! Good effort, just couldn't keep it down as he went for the far corner, but great turn and effort from Liam Love, who would be unlucky not to get a goal himself, given he's put himself about.
Yeah, he's had a brilliant game, worked so hard at the top end of the pitch, and he's once again rolled his man really well there, and couldn't quite keep it underneath the bar. But he deserves a goal today, doesn't he, for his efforts?
He's been an absolutely key player. We were talking off air, weren't we, about how crucial Liam Love has been to Barnet's kind of kicking on in a way, and we were theorising maybe, well, you were certainly theorising that had Nicky Kabamba not been let go and replaced with Liam Love, that Barnet might not be in the position they are.
Yeah, I think there's loads of moments where you can potentially say that was the reason why Barnet have done what they've done this year, but the fact that they lost a player so key in Nicky Kabamba, whoever they brought in to replace him, if they didn't do well and replace him well, then that could potentially have seen them drop off. But Liam Love's come in, been absolutely excellent. I'd say that as a collective, the team actually functions better with Liam Love. And yeah, he's been a revelation. I don't think Dean Brennan would have foreseen him having the impact he has had, stepping up a level from Bournemouth, obviously, who themselves are in the playoffs. And yeah, he's been tremendous.
He certainly has, and he's been missed when he hasn't played. That's for sure. Such a focal point and a goal threat up top, and people could play off him. The likes of Stead and Brown and Chapman and Brunt. Well, on comes, I believe, Maxwell Mullins for Will Armitage, and they did make another change as well, which we will confirm shortly. I think it was Aaron Jones who came off, but we will get confirmation shortly. Hartigan plays it forward to Brunt, loose touch from him, and he's actually caught his man late there, disappointingly. And with 10 minutes to go, it would be almost disappointing if Barnet can't kick on and just get one more.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll fancy themselves to do that. We talked about 5 being the magic number, all the promotions, but yeah, it'd be nice to end with 5. And it was Kai Corbett that came on for Aldershot Town, the former Barcelona product.
Some accolade that. But it's been Barnet who have been more like Barcelona today. Here comes Corbett on the near side, plays it all the way back to Woodhouse, who's been, I would say, solid, despite, I think, his involvement in the initial penalty, I think, that Barnet got. Yeah, he's dealt with Liam Love and he's dealt with the threats in behind fairly well.
Yeah, he's had a good game. He's had a couple of really good defensive clearances or blocks last ditch to keep the score at bay, and he was obviously at Dagenham earlier in the season, recalled by Wickham, his parent club, and sent to Aldershot, and he's done really well with both teams this year.
Madger wins the ball off Mark Shelton inside the Bees half, and Corbett has it now. Barnet taking their foot off the gas a little bit, but that's understandable. They've played with such intensity and tempo this whole season, really. But is there another goal in this for them? Ball played across the middle. Aldershot just about keep it with Tetek, and it's played forward. Back with Tetek now, just on the centre circle. Over to the right-hand side now with Mullins, who scored a wonder goal up at Altrincham. Wonder goal / fluke. Recollections may vary.
He's certainly a versatile player. He's playing on the right of that back three today, but he's been used as a lone striker at times this season for Aldershot, so certainly versatile.
Part of Tommy Witherington's eccentric style. Here's Aldershot on the right hand side. Evans claims that cross with ease as Kwame Thomas was lurking, and he plays it forward quickly to Love, who manages to chest it down brilliantly. Fantastic from him, and he's surely been fouled there. That's a late challenge there from Dan Ellison, who's going to be yellow carded here. And Love was just too much to handle for him, and he's won a free kick here, and you could just hear what the Barnet fans are making of Liam Love, not just as his performance today, but as an addition to this Barnet squad.
Yeah, you could say that they love Liam Love.
They say, well, that's the easiest pun you'll do in your entire broadcasting career, Joe.
Yeah.
Here's Jordan Cropper and Billy Clifford going to come on for the Bees. Ben Coker is going to make way here. He's been good as well. That's Ben Coker, a veteran of the game now. Another really, really important cog in the Barnet machine. Hasn't always played. Ryan Glover often occupies that left-hand side with Idris Kanu on the right-hand side, but Kanu out injured with a hamstring injury, and Coker has filled in adeptly on the left. So on comes Jordan Cropper, and there will be no hat-trick for Mark Shelton either, who is applauding the fans as well. What a shift he's put in these last couple of games, scoring 3 penalties in 2 games. And you do wonder what's going through Oldham fans' minds right now, thinking, well, how did we let that one go? But Hartlepool fans will know exactly what they missed. And he applauds the fans. Off he comes. And Billy Clifford, more of a squad player this season, but an equally good player in the Barnet midfield. A classy player on his day. On he comes to see this game out, as Barnet are very much on their way now. Collins plays it quickly into Love, and Love, that's a loose pass, intercepted by Madger, and Aldershot come away with it. Bit a bit loose in possession of Barnet since scoring the 4th.
I think we'll allow them that at 4 goals up, won't we?
Certainly will. But standards, you know, they've been set. Brunt nods the ball on, and it's back with Dewhurst for Aldershot. And there is just a sense now of we're waiting for the inevitable. And these LED boards here are a bit high for a pitch invasion, but maybe the more athletic of the crowd here will fancy it. Of course, we don't condone it here on Hive Live. It is illegal to enter the pitch, as we're obligated to say. It doesn't stop the fans every single season.
And I wonder where Martin Allen is this afternoon, obviously.
Well, I'm hoping he's listening. We did send him the link, so I'm hoping he's listening, Martin Allen.
Hope he's well. No doubt got a...
Well, he's just had a knee replacement.
Yeah, obviously spent that time in hospital, but no doubt he's got a tear in the eye watching on, if he is. Hello to Martin.
Yes, if you're watching, hello to Martin Allen. Here come Aldershot on the left-hand side. In it comes from Frost. It's cleared away. Tete will rescue. Duncan McKinn says, was leading marriage prep in Norwich, but as soon as it finished, was so delighted to see the score from the Hive as Barnet launch a counter-attack. Here's Glover on the left-hand side. That's a loose ball, but it's out for an Aldershot town throw. No, it isn't. It's Glover's actually adjudged to have fouled his man. It's a free kick to Aldershot inside their own half on the far side, and it's another change here. Dom Telford's coming on, and off comes Liam Love, and you can hear what the Bees fans are making of him.
Yeah, he's been terrific today. Worked so hard for Barnet at the top end, rolling his men and getting his head to it in his chest and bringing the balls down for Barnet there. And he doesn't get a goal this afternoon, but he'll be pleased with his performance. And Dean Brennan gives him a round of applause as he makes his way off. And Dom Telford coming on, what experience to bring on for the last 5 minutes.
Well, of course, he is a league player for all intents and purposes, as is Owen Evans. Both loanees, one from Barrow, one from Cheltenham. Richard Rolfe says, thank you for your commentary. Well done, Dean and the players. Onwards to League 2 and looking forward to going home to Barnet, of course. Underhill very much on the horizon. A return there would be the icing on the cake for sure. Here's Collins for the Bees. Mike Towler says, brilliant Barnet and brilliant commentary as always. Well done, the Bees from Italy. Daniel Shackle couldn't make it due to health, but thanks to you both for getting as close as you can without being there. Wishing you all the best, Daniel, in your recovery and in your health.
That's exactly what you need to make you feel better, isn't it?
Certainly, that is.
A 4-0 win and a promotion.
Just what the doctor ordered, I would have thought.
As the fans in this stand beneath us start to line the hoardings, I think we might get our answer as to whether or not they might want to go on the pitch.
And all the best as well to Rob Townsend, a regular listener, who's recovering from a triple heart bypass. Very best to you, Rob. And I'm very glad the Bees have done the business for you and everyone here, and those who couldn't make it, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening. 88 minutes gone as we tick over and you can just feel it now. It's bubbling, the moment, and as you say, Joe, everyone wants to be part of this moment. They are gathered on the edge of those LED boards, which Chairman Tony Cleanthus got in. Hopefully they don't get damaged. Here's Jordan Cropper. Can the Bees just put a tiny bit more gloss on the scoreline? It goes back to Dewhurst, who plays it forward first time. Collins with a brilliant chest forward to Brun, gets it back to Collins inside the Aldershot half. There's already a few orange balloons on the pitch. Collins tries one forward towards Telford. Great work from him to rescue the ball from going out of place. Still Telford on the left hand side, squeezes one through to Jordan Cropper, but it just goes out of play. Unlucky Dom Telford. Just a minute left of normal time here.
And a penny for Dean Brennan's thoughts at this time. Obviously all of the project that he's been working on, he's a minute from that coming to fruition with that elusive promotion and return to the Football League.
You can just feel the emotions now. Those of us who have been involved with Barnet and followed the Bees for many years. Here comes Zach Brunt. Can he find Chapman? No, he goes to the left with Glover. Here's Glover taking on his man. Can he get into the penalty area? Glover, fantastic work from him, in towards the middle. And who's the last touch come off? It's a Barnet corner. I think it was Dom Telford there who was looking, and the corner is taken quickly short. Here's Harry Chapman. Can he get one in towards the box? It's overhit, and Danny Collins was rising. How he'd love a goal as well. With just 10 seconds of normal time to go, and we're at the mercy of how much added time there's going to be.
Be fitting if it was 5, wouldn't it?
Certainly would.
And it is 5.
5 minutes of added time. And the significance of that number will be rammed home very, very shortly. And it's a goal kick for Dewhurst to take. Lumps it forward towards Tavares, wins that header, and it's out for an Aldershot throw. The flags are waving. They are in full swing. Heidi, 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 Hi is the song. I'll just let you soak it up, no need for me to ruin it. Just love to hear it, Joe.
Yeah, brilliant. There's a fan beneath us that's I've been watching all game with Kevin on his back, who's up and down the front, arms aloft.
Walking football team member. And it's some atmosphere now. It'd be funny if Aldershot scored, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Alas, that is not looking very likely at the moment. Here's Hartigan, forward towards Chapman. And we're just counting down now. Great ball forward to Glover. Glover lays it off to Telford. It's Dom Telford. How can he be offside there? Surely not. That would have been a great. He didn't manage to score anyway. He was clean through on goal. And there's 3 minutes of added time to go. Make sure you leave your comments in as well. We want to hear what this means to you as Barnet supporters on this momentous day for the football club. We will read them out once things have died down a little bit, I think.
Once you've wiped the tears of joy away.
Once I've wiped the tears of joy away. You just never know how you're going to react, really. Here's Corbett for Aldershot. It's playing out like a bit of a training match at the moment. What an atmosphere so far. Just 2 minutes to go. This is something special. It's played forward towards Corbett. They couldn't, could they? Just on this near side, Corbett up against Cropper. Gets his feet in a bit of a muddle, but gets one in towards the back post. Rises for it, does Kwame Thomas, but only gets it out for a Barnet goal kick. Just a minute and a half to go here. Just listen to that noise. This is a day that will live long, long in the memory. It's a season that will live long in the memory.
And I wonder what Paul Fairclough is doing this afternoon. Obviously had a key part to play in the careers of so many of these players on the pitch for both Barnet and Aldershot. Obviously got promoted with Barnet.
Absolute legend. 60 seconds to go. Here's Tavares for the Bees inside. I've just realised I'm not giving you any action updates, to be honest. Don't think it matters what's going on the pitch right now. I just want you to soak this atmosphere up. That is the most important thing. Here's Clifford. Well intercepted for the shots. Played up the right flank. Header up into the air. Barnet 4, Aldershot Town 0. 20 seconds to go. Chapman tries one forward towards Telford. Here's Madger through the middle. Foul committed by Anthony Hartigan.
And at this rate, I don't even think the Barnet backline would stop those players or their fans getting over the hoardings. And there it is!
It's over! They've done it! What a sight to behold as the Bee Army makes their way onto the pitch. It's been an incredible, unbelievable season for these fans, these players and this management squad. 2005, 2015, 2025, Barnet are once again champions of the Vanarama National League when the year ends in 5. And it means Dean Brennan's side will be playing League 2 football next season for the first time in 8 long years. After 2 heartbreaking near misses in the lottery of the playoffs, this time the Bees have left nothing to chance, and they will be crowned worthy winners of the 5th tier for the 4th time. And what a sight it is. Going from relegation fodder to title winners in just 3.5 years. It's the culmination of a simply remarkable transformation. And this incredible management team, they recruited players not just on the quality of their footballing ability, but of their character. And the trademark togetherness that has been painstakingly built from the ground up has now borne the sweetest of fruits. Consistent though they were, it wasn't all plain sailing. The Bees went 11 points clear after a dramatic late win at Dagenham, but York, to their credit, they kept the pace, and suddenly just a few nerves began to creep in. But this Barnet side, they showed the grit, the resilience, and as Dean would say, the character that has defined their season, arresting a 3-game winless run to earn a monumental 3 points at Sutton, putting themselves one step from glory. Today, they took that final leap, and of course, with a potential return to Underhill on the horizon, it just doesn't get much better than this for anyone associated with this football club. In his 200th game managing the club, Dean Brennan now joins the ranks of Barry Fry, of Paul Fairclough and Martin Allen as a bona fide Barnet legend. and this squad could yet cement themselves as Barnet's greatest ever side by reaching their points target of 100 at Fylde next week. And there's not much left to say other than, now you're going to believe us. The Bees are going up. Well, Sweet Caroline is blaring off the speakers. There's a few older gentlemen with their shirts off. Everyone has gathered in the middle, and they will be surrounding Dean Brennan and this management staff and these players. And I really hope this pitch is going to survive the pitch invasion. It's been brilliant this season. I think the groundskeepers will have a bit of work to do. Just an incredible, incredible day and an incredible season. Barnet Football Club are champions of the Vanarama National League. They're on 99 points now, and they deserve this. Well, wherever you are in the world, however long you've supported Barnet, just enjoy these moments, milk these moments for everything they're worth. They don't come around often unless you support Man City or PSG. This is why we follow lower league football, for moments like this where it means so much. I didn't think I was going to be this emotional, to be honest, Joe. It's just hit me, really.
Yeah, two words that you said in that: worthy winners. And Barnet have been worthy winners for a long time. And today they finally got that. Worthy winners back in the EFL. What a way to do it. As champions on the big screen, as Sweet Caroline blares out.
It's just amazing. And I wonder what Chairman Tony Cleanthus is thinking as well. Dean Brennan said he fell out of love with football when they got relegated in 2018, and seasons of such disappointment after that. But Dean Brennan made a promise to his chairman. He said, I'm going to make you fall in love with football again. And if Tony Cleanthus hasn't fallen back in love with it now, he never will. It's been an absolute privilege to have been the voice of Barnet's title-winning season. There's a few young lads slipping on the slippery surface. It ain't easy. That's why these players wear their fancy boots. Lots of knee slides. Lots of memories being created. Moments that these fans will never ever forget. And Joe, what a time to make your Hive debut.
Yeah, I certainly picked the right moment. Brilliant day. And this is why we love non-league, isn't it? All the community coming together, fans of all over the years coming together for a special day. So few teams get that opportunity. Barnet have had that 3 times this league. And yeah, what a brilliant day. That heartbreak from that defeat to Solihull Moors in the playoffs. And we've covered them all season, that Dean Brennan has been hell-bent on getting Barnet back to the EFL. And he's done it.
He said it was his dream to get Barnet Football Club back into the league. He took them over. They were virtually rock bottom of the table in 2021. Only Dover, with their points deduction, were lower. And I remember being there, losing 2-0 against Bromley, and the fans were singing, "We're going down with the Dover." They were making light of it. How things have changed in a relatively short time. I mean, look at Aldershot. They haven't been in the league since 2013. And the Bees, while they have languished since 2018, it's been year on year consistency. He steadied the ship. In his first season in charge, did Dean Brennan. He got them to the playoff eliminators. It was heartbreak when Liam Love, of all people, scored 2 goals to knock the Bees out at the first hurdle. Heartbreak again, as you said, in the semi against Solihull Moors. 4-0 they lost at home, and poetically they have won 4-0 at home this season. Talk about righting a few wrongs. And Dean Brennan said in his post-match interview in that 4-0 loss, he said, "I know what needs to be done." Those were his words. "I know what needs to be done," and no one can pull him up on that now. He's done exactly what he set out to do. Dean Brennan, Connor Smith, Jerome Akimo, Kirk Raymond, and all the rest. And this party is going to go long into the night.
Yeah, and you're right there to name all of the backroom staff. There's no doubt people that we've left out. 18 players on the team sheet in front of me, and it has been very much a team effort on and off the pitch, and we've got a trophy yet to do.
Certainly have. And just as you say that, the message is please leave the pitch, as the trophy presentation will not take place until the pitch is clear. So, as the fans will gradually make their way off the pitch, we will have a trophy presentation coming up shortly. And we are going to stay on the air for that trophy presentation because we want to milk this moment. And if you can't be there, we want you to at least get something out of it. We want to be your eyes and ears. So do stick with us as we take a short break, and we will return. Keep this page up. We're not going anywhere. And we will revel in the glory of Barnet Football Club being the 2025 Vanarama National League champions. Stay tuned. Just unmuting the microphone in case anyone here would like to hear some more of the atmosphere. I will leave it open for the time being. Well, we've just jumped back on comms. Thank you to those who have remained with us for this very, very special occasion, and a bit of an interesting experiment in human psychology, really, the way that a bunch of people just decided to invade the pitch again as they were told to leave, because the trophy presentation is occurring. It's facing the end with fewer fans. It's facing the tunnel. And so a bunch of people have come onto the pitch and have sort of created a horseshoe on the left-hand side, and there's even more on the right-hand side. They're sort of encapsulating and sort of entrapping the bees. There's plenty of people still in this west stand. We're in the gantry, of course, but everyone wants a proper view of this, and I totally understand it. But you know, it's not ideal, I guess.
Yeah, not ideal. I'm a little bit surprised that potentially they didn't put it in front of the goal with no Barnet fans behind, so that everybody could get a look at the champions and the trophy lift. But rather symbolic that everybody's huddled together in the typical Dean Brennan togetherness.
I think, yeah, I'm not sure this is quite what he meant, but it's an amazing sight to behold, really. But just ignoring that then, and touching on the fact that Barnet are champions of the Vanarama National League once again for the 4th time. Dean Brennan joins the likes of Paul Fairclough, Martin Allen, Barry Fry, who did it first, and now Dino himself. And now we await the moment of crowning. Mr. Bumble is making his way around the crowd, hugging and high-fiving everyone. Champions again, ole ole!
To salute a number of individuals who also contributed to this season's wonderful achievements, and I'll be asking to join us in a round of applause for them. Hopefully some of them will come out on.
And for those of you who are still with us on DAZN, who are about to witness something very, very special, the announcer just going through all the behind-the-scenes staff that have worked tirelessly to help make this happen. And now all the squad as well. Paul Johnson, Francis.
And a couple more in just a moment.
Starting again. The announcer. I think he was expecting them to come out and they didn't, did they?
So good he gets 2 walkouts.
Here comes Riesel Johnson. Walking onto the pitch. Struggled with injury this season. Riesel Johnson was out for a long period. Went on loan to Solihull recently, was recalled. Jermaine Francis shaking the hands of the National League chairman as well.
And how nice it is that so many of the loanees that have been out on loan this season got the chance to come back and experience this moment. The likes of Jermaine Francis and
absolutely
Joe Rye.
Well, Joe Rye was recalled from Boreham Wood for this exact reason, I'm pretty sure.
Here this afternoon.
Joe Rye collecting
They start as follows. The players first off.
his medal as well.
Is Joe Kizzy.
Joe Kizzy, a player who has barely really featured for Barnet this season, signed from Sutton United, came with a lot of pedigree, but sadly, for him at least, didn't get as much playing time as certainly he would have liked. Suffered with injury throughout the season as well, but he is a member of this title-winning squad nonetheless.
this Hive pitch by Dom Telford.
On comes Dom Telford now. The Barrow loanee. Notched a few goals for Barnet in his short time here.
And another one that you'd be not surprised to see if Barnet can try and recall back to the Hive in the summer.
Indeed, well, scored at Solihull, scored against Rochdale, and scored against Yeovil as well, so 3 goals for Telford this season. Well, a massive cheer here for Owen Evans, who's, in typical Owen Evans style, he's an eccentric man, and he's come straight out of the tunnel and jumped into the air, fist pumped, and that's provoked a brilliant response from the Bees fans. Now the chant is Leon Love. Owen Evans, though, such a fantastic addition to this squad, coincided with the amazing clean sheet run as well. On comes Leon Love now, who is lapping it up, signed from Boreham Wood in Nicky Kabamba, went to Bromley. Leon Love has filled in more than capably.
And nice moment for him today in his former side, Brackley, getting promoted and winning the National League North.
Don't worry about that. Don't care about that. Well, it's Joe Grimwood now, who's next in line. Had a good season as Joe Grimwood as well, kicking on, signed from Braintree Town. One of the few Barnet players, Joe Grimwood, not to actually get a goal this season. Billy Clifford as well. More of a squad player. Mark Shelton preferred in that midfield generally. But when he's had to come on, he's looked a class player.
And another promotion for him under Dean Brennan.
Harry Chapman, another classy player. Again, suffered with injury throughout the season. But if he didn't suffer with those sorts of injuries, he's another one. Like Reece Brown, he'd be playing far higher up the leagues. And he's scored some belters this season. None more so than against Southend. And talking of Reece Brown, here he comes as well, another injury-prone player, but one with that brilliant drop of the shoulder. He scored 7 this season. Alty, Daggers, Woking, Ebbsfleet, Rochdale, Woking again, his former side twice. And Altrincham away was his last goal, which proved to be the winner that day. And it's a promotion for Reece Brown.
We'll let him receive his medal, and then welcome onto the pitch, Ben Coker.
Ben Coker next. Another excellent player for the Bees. Not the youngest. I believe he's 34 years of age. And a diabetic as well, which makes his achievements on the pitch that much more special, given his health problems. A wand of a left foot, which has cast so many spells this season. And most recently setting up Adi Aluwo for the decisive third goal against Sutton. Class player Ben Coker, and a richly deserved promotion for him. Back into the league for Ben Coker. Is that Cropper?
Brunt, is it?
Or Brunt?
It might be Jordan Cropper. It is Jordan Cropper.
It's Jordan Cropper. Long throw in his arsenal that hasn't been needed too much this season, but when he did, it worked with brilliance. He put a long throw into the box against Altrincham here at home in that famous game where Dean Brennan questioned the character of his fan base and set up Reece Brown for the winner.
Okay, I think we're just about good to go. Who is next? I know you're going to raise the room for Mark Shelton.
Well, Mark Shelton, a man who needs barely any introduction, scored twice today with 2 calm penalties. Someone needs to check that man's blood pressure because he is cold as ice. Signed from an Oldham side where he was just out of favour, really disliked by that squad, by that fan base. But Dean Brennan has a knack for taking players who aren't fancied and turning them into superstars.
With Adi Aluwo.
Another superstar, Adi Aluwo. signed from Chelmsford, a lower league gem really, and has kicked on this season to no end. An integral part of that back line. Not without one or two errors throughout the season, but that can be absolutely forgiven because he is a man mountain at the back, and he has come on leaps and bounds. Adioluwo, who has popped up with so many incredibly important goals this season too. We mentioned Sutton last week. He's a big game player. And Nick Tavares, I believe, is next up here. The Croatian defender who was slotted into that back line. Just class, Joe.
Yeah, got to be a shout for team of the season for me, for the division. Nick Tavares, been absolutely outstanding.
Idris Kanu next up. Well, he was commended by his chairman at Peterborough, Darren McAntony, for taking a pay cut to come to the Bees a couple of seasons ago. He was out of favour at Peterborough, and Dean Brennan snatched him up. Former Aldershot man as well. And he has been criticised a few times for his inconsistency. But in the last few months, he looks a player reinvented. And he made that right wing back position his own. Terrifying defences. Well, player of the season, Ryan Glover, is making his way out. Playing against his former side today. He left the shots to join Barnet. And he has joined a promotion-winning side. Player of the season, Ryan Glover, and Callum Stead not far behind. Barnet's top scorer this season with 18 goals, 2 of which came today. A man whose work rate you could never, ever question. A total class act on and off the pitch. A lovely, lovely man as well, who I've had the pleasure to speak to.
Yeah, another one of those ex-Brackley ones.
Obsessed with Brackley, aren't you, Joe? And Callum Stead will be a league player this season.
Miles Kenlock.
On comes Miles Kenlock, who sadly picked up an awful injury at home against Wealdstone to his knee, but thankfully he seems to be walking a tiny bit more freely. Just before we get to Zach Brunt, Kenlock, what a class player. Again, I keep using the same word. Such a brilliant and vital part of Dean Brennan's back five.
Yeah, tenacious and classy.
On the left-hand side, cutting in, linking up with Glover and Coker, and scoring his first ever goal for the Bees late on in the season at home to Gateshead, and his fellow staff said what a brilliant character he is around the dressing room. Zach Brunt as well. Touch of class once again, Zach Brunt. A young player of the season, sort of won it by default really, not much competition. But Zach Brunt has popped up with some huge goals this season. The best of the bunch surely came against Oldham away. Got a hat-trick at home to Tamworth. And on comes Danny Collins now. One of the oldest members of Dean Brennan's squad. He's been on Hive Live a couple of times, sharing his insight. A very clever and smart, erudite man is Danny Collins. And he will go on to do great things, hopefully with Barnet. And he certainly has today and this season. Plucks from a Dover side that were in dire straits. He's become a league winner under Dean Brennan and a man rejuvenated. Belagambi, the substitute keeper who has had only one appearance this season. That was at home to Aveley in the FA Trophy, where he played pretty well and kept a clean sheet no less. So congratulations to him as well. Well, my eyes aren't what they were, Joe. So, going to have to identify this last one.
I can't see who it was. I missed the name.
Well, Kirk Raymond, we definitely know, a member of the coaching staff, Dean Brennan's right-hand man, and he's waving his arms up into the air. And why wouldn't he? Harry Pritchard also coming forward, although he's not technically part of the squad.
First off is the gaffer himself, your team manager, Dean Brennan.
And the biggest roar of the day for Dean Brennan. My, does he deserve this reception? He has absolutely transformed this football club in a relatively short time, and he is a Barnet legend.
Yeah, nice moment there with what I'm imagining is his son there walking on with him as a big embrace with the announcer, and what a job he's done.
Well, on comes the chairman, Tony Cleanthus, who's applauding his fan base as well. He's backed Dean Brennan this season, and as mentioned, he fell out of love with the game after that awful relegation and the seasons that followed, but Dean Brennan made a promise to his chairman. He said, I'm going to make you fall back in love with the game again, and he's done it.
Yeah, I think he'll be loving it now, won't he?
Well, he is the Bees team, the captain, Anthony Hive.
Another brilliant cheer for Anthony Hartigan, who is one of Barnet's best players in a team full of gems. Absolutely dictates and controls that midfield, and has done. He was on loan from Mansfield Town a couple of seasons ago, or last season I should say, signed permanently. One of the biggest signings over the summer was Anthony Hartigan, to make him a permanent place, and he would have got league offers. He definitely did get league offers, but he came here for footballing reasons, and he is captaining a title-winning side. And as we get ready for Anthony Hartigan to lift the trophy, Barnet Football Club are champions of the Vanarama National League 2024-2025. The fans are swarming the players, and you can just see that trophy being held aloft in the sea of faces on the centre circle. What a moment for these fans and these players. They have guaranteed promotion thanks to a win today. It didn't matter what happened at York, and fair play to York City for keeping pace and making this as exciting as it has been the last few games. Because keeping pace with this Barnet side ain't easy.
No, and they've been worthy second place this year. But as Dean Brennan says, he wanted character from his team. At 1-1 against Sutton, they dug in, they got that big win. You talked about it earlier, that season-defining result to give them the opportunity to win it today. And by word, they certainly showed some character today, didn't they?
It was never in doubt, surely. Well, I'd like to read some of your comments now for those of you who have remained. Piano Discordian, I used to steward at Underhill back in the day. So glad I'm not having to do it today. Bit chaotic out there right now. Certainly is. Oliver Mullins, 2005, 2015, 2025. Champions. Absolutely. When the year ends in 5. Tears in my eyes, says Patrick Oddle, seeing big man join Dean Brennan in the interview. Piano Discordian also says it's your party and you can cry if you want to, Rory. Well, although I was overcome a little bit in the immediate aftermath, I have managed to calm myself down and compose. Whitby Garners couldn't make the very long trip from Whitby. So happy to see the Bees back and strong. Simon Collins, no relation to Danny, I imagine. Congratulations to everyone associated with the club, well deserved. Whitby Gamers, once again, give me a shout. I'm up in Whitby. I used to be the programme editor and was also Mr. Bumble. What a pleasure. What an honour and a privilege. Well, Well, you can hear what the announcers are saying. They want the fans to give the players some space. They're definitely a bit eager, a bit keen are some of these fans to make this moment, to get involved with the moment, but really, respectfully, they should keep their distance. Just a little bit.
Yeah, you can begrudge them it on a day like this, but special moment for those players, those coaching staff, Dean Brennan, Kirk Raymond, all the 18 that were here today.
Keith Gaylor says you can stick the Premiership where the sun don't shine, proper football is here. Well, absolutely, this is exactly what we love about lower league football. Repeated requests there from the announcer for the fans to just give the players some space. Slightly sour note there. On an otherwise superlative day and an absolutely wonderful season. Well, it's been an absolute honour and a privilege to have been in the gantry for most of the games today and this season. Someone's stolen the microphone. One minute it was get off the pitch, they give the players some space. The next, the mice has been hijacked.
For a moment there, they've remembered what they've done. They've just got to the EFL.
Mixed messaging there. Absolutely comical moment. Well, look, I'm not going to draw this out. It has been absolutely wonderful to be up here. It's been a truly memorable season, and I really hope that we've done this season justice. I've been Rory Edwards, alongside me Joe Pope. Thank you so much for filling in today at late notice. You've been brilliant for us.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to talk on such a special day for Barnet. I mean, it's easy talking about good players and good football, isn't it? So, special day, and hopefully, I'm sure Barnet fans are going to enjoy a couple this evening.
Yes, wherever you are, whoever you are, just milk it, guys. I've been Rory Edwards. Joe Pope alongside me, and special thanks as well to Brian Matova as well. He couldn't be here today. Wishing him all the best. Barnet Football Club are champions, and please do look out for our post-match chat, which we will put on YouTube. It's going to be a very special one as we try and dissect this season really and what this means. So thanks once again for joining Hive Live, and have an absolutely wonderful rest of your weekend, and we will see you in League 2. Take care, everyone.